And Lance said something about a banana in his pocket. Oh, we're alive.
Hey, it's May 30th. We're coming up almost to June, and it's the Alaboom before June. Hey, boys, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, Lance.
Who moved the rock? Anthony's here.
I canceled my podcast recording to be here.
Oh.
No, actually, I didn't. I just didn't want to record tonight.
Oh.
He had nothing else more important to do.
Cool. Hey, I was going to ask you, Anthony, have you played
Emperor's Choice?
Yes.
Yes, I have. I got to play it again because I saw that you tweeting about playing it more recently.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at Origins, walking around with my copy and getting people to play it. And we are beginning the deluxeification process and what we're gonna.
Yay!
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and we're actually starting from the ground up with that one, just artwork and what have you. So
yeah, the original one is very non-North America quality.
That's an interesting way to put it.
It is very much like a what's what I'm looking for here. It is very much a Ozaku brand, which is what the Hisashi Hayashi's personal like publication thing, where he basically makes 300 or 400 or 500 copies,
Yeah.
and then he he sells them off, and then he hopes somebody is willing to pick it up and do more with it. So
yeah, it's not bad. It's just it's not what we're normally used to here.
Mm-hmm.
yes. So no, I mean I can't I don't know exactly what we'll do as far as whatever, but I know we're obviously going to we're gonna see if we can make the kin, or is that QIN? Kin?
Keen.
So one of the major focuses of the game is there is a these tiles that get drawn, and then people basically bid for the rights to collect them. And the tiles are used for a ton of things, as far as like they're basically one of the main ways you score points, because depending upon which tiles you get and the combination of tiles, then you score them when you score different. There's these scrolls that you score, and the scroll I could do a little like mini review of it, which maybe I'll do here in a second. But basically, there's like 145 of these keen tiles, and they're these thin cardboard. But we're looking into the possibility that we could do like Bakelite tiles for them.
Ooh.
Yes. Now it might be too cost prohibitive to do it, but as far as the deluxe process, we'd want to do that, and then the normal process would just have cardboard. So I mean, we'll see what we can do, and we'll go from there, and hopefully.
I know people who don't know, it's a 3 to 5 player game.
Yes. So that will turn some people away because there isn't a 2-player version.
Well, I'm just telling people now so they don't go, well, can we make it play 2 players? It really cannot be played 2 players.
I know we have reached out to Hisashi to see if he's got any ideas for a 2-player version. And and maybe we and like, what was it? We came up with a 2-player variant for Flow of History, that worked, I think, fairly decent. So it's not impossible, though it would be difficult because there's bidding, right? And
it's very hard to do the 2-player bidding thing. Like it works in Homesteaders.
Yes, it does.
But in this one, I don't think it could work.
All right, so here I'll give my little mini review of, and this isn't. I mean, I really like the game, and I'll explain what I like about it here in just a little bit. But here's my mini review of it. So, okay, the idea is that all of you are trying to impress the emperor and basically be the most exalted lord or whatever. Whatever. So the theme is it's Japanese theme. So you get cards that represent your agents, and the agents are like generals, captains, assassins, things like that. They're different people that are part of your army or your like advisors or whatever you want to call it. You also get cubes, which we are going to actually have little tiny samurai cubes for these guys. But you get these cubes and they represent just soldiers, your rank and file soldiers. So at the beginning of each round, you reach into a bag and you pull out these tiles, and then depending upon the number of players, there's a row of tiles for each player. But like with like 4 players, there's a row with 4, there's a row with 3, there's a row with 3, and there's a row with 2. So obviously, like more tiles, you get more stuff. You'll be able to possibly turn them in for more points. So that isn't always necessarily going to be the case, but
the tiles you want may be in the one with the 2.
Yeah, exactly. So, but regardless, the way it'll work is that you, when you bid, you like all of your men in your army have like a certain power to them, and that's their bidding strength. Your cubes are also bidding strength. So the first person makes a bid, and at most they can use 1 card, but they can use all of their cubes if they want to. So they'll bid a number. The next person has to beat that bid, and so it's each one of your cubes of the soldiers is the equivalent of 1, and then the strength of the cards that you're bidding with. So if the first person shows a 2, and sometimes like different things that you use, they'll have little powers they'll give you, like you'll get like money when you use them or things like that when you reveal them as part of a bid. But it doesn't matter. Just basically what matters is the strength. So first person, say they reveal a strength 2. Here's my cavalry, and this is strength 2. And so the next person says, well, I have a cavalry, but I'm also going to use 1 soldier. And so now I have strength 3. So now the next person goes and they're like, well, I'm going to use 2 cards, strength 2 card, another strength 2 card. Now I have a strength 4. Now you can increase it by more than just 1. Now the trick is that you can't ever use more cards than the preceding, like the number of cards used plus 1. So that person couldn't use 3 cards. They can use 2 cards plus their cubes. You can use all your cubes at any time. So like the next person then could use up to 3 cards and cubes. Anyway, so you keep bidding, and when you pass, you get a bonus. So like if you are in a situation where you don't have good enough cards to continue bidding, when you pass, yes, you're not going to be able to have first pick, but there are rewards for passing, and they vary from like getting a couple of coins to like getting soldiers or getting Emperor trust points, things like just all kinds of things. So it's not necessarily. It's kind of like you get something for not being able to bid or choosing not to bid. Now here's where it gets tricky. So when it's done, the person that gets to pick first, they have to get rid of the number 1 thing of power they used for the bid. So like if they bid with 6 soldier cubes and a card that had 5 and a card that had 3, they'd have to get rid of all 6 of their soldier cubes because that was a power of 6. Whereas like if it was like they had a card of 8 and 4 soldier cubes and a card of 2, they had to get rid of their card of 8. So you recognize that when you bid, you might be losing like one of your good cards. You have to discard it and get rid of it. So that's also another mechanism. So if somebody gets good cards, they can't just keep winning bids over and over again. They have to give up the power that they have for doing it. The person who picks second has to give up their second biggest thing. The person who gets the third pick gives up their third biggest thing, and so on and so forth. Now, it's very possible that, like, if you're picking fourth, there was no fourth biggest thing. So you don't have to get rid of anything. You get to keep everything that's in your hand. So after that's all done, the first person will collect their tiles, and they'll go through the process of their turn, where they collect their tiles, they collect income, they go through a certain number of processes, and they go up and down tracks and what have you. As far as there's a palace track, there's an Emperor's Trust track, and then they'll go through their turn. And so each person will do their turn, collecting their tiles, using the tiles if they have usable functions at that time, and doing certain things. So after all that is done, like I said, there's multiple tracks. There's like a victory point track, there's a palace track, and there's an Emperor's Trust track. Victory point track is just exactly what you think of victory point track. The palace track, the higher every single step you take on the palace track gives you rewards. And there's always two different rewards. There's always going to be an option to increase on the Emperor's Trust track, or a different thing where you could take a tribute card, or you could take a recruit. You could take, there's all these different things you can do. So you pick which one, and you don't skip them either. So if you do something that gives you 3 steps on the palace track, you get to pick a reward for each step. It isn't you go forward 3 and you get that reward. So you get repeated things. So you'll go through that process. So after all said and done, you go to the Emperor's Trust track, and the person who's highest on the Emperor's Trust track gets to pick which one of these 7 laws that are there's these cards or tiles that there'll be tiles in the published version, but they're cards in the version I have that basically they score the tile, or they score the card, and the card will say whoever has the most Confucianism tiles, or the from kin tiles will get points. Whoever has the most Great Wall tiles will get points. There's all these different ways, and you look at every single person, and they'll get to score. So you might choose one of the laws to resolve, but to give yourself points, but you'll actually be giving points to other players as well, depending upon the tiles that they have. You also have the ability to flip. Each one of the laws has 2 sides, so you have the ability to flip those as well, and the other side will be a different law. So and then you can maybe have that one be the process. So there's 2 of those every turn. So the person who's in the lead gets it, but then they lose some of their Emperor Trust points. Depending upon the round, they'll lose a certain number, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, what have you. And so they might then be second on the list of the Emperor's Trust. And and so then whoever has the second most points then gets to do the exact same thing again, where they will pick one of those laws to do. And after that, you just you settle up, you do everything, you get everybody where they're supposed to be, and then you start up again, and you draw more tiles out, and you do the whole thing all over again. The game lasts 6 rounds. It's got collection. It's got the part of the game that I like the most is the auction and the bidding. As far as trying to come up with the combination of soldiers and cards, and trying to come up with a clever way to do it so you're not giving up something that you don't want to get rid of. And it's
you'd like to be even across the board if possible. This way you can choose which of the ones you get rid of.
So it's heavier in my opinion than Yokohama, just because it's got a lot of moving parts. Whereas Yokohama was fairly straightforward as far as collecting resources and just turning them in for points. The finding the spot to move to be able to do the things you want to do was the trick with Yokohama. I think this is a better game in my opinion. So
yeah, the other thing is when you're doing your bidding, and you see that you really don't know always what someone else is going for. So you may want the first 3 line one in a 4-player game. So you want the one with the 3 tiles in it instead of the one with 4. And I'm in a bidding war now with you, Pete, and I'm not sure which one you want. So now I have to sit there and go, well, do I make sure I win it so I get the 3 that I want? Definitely. But then I'm going to have to lose some. I'm going to lose my biggest card or my cubes. And then I'm going to lose on the other track because I'm going to put the law into effect. when I would have just maybe ended up with the same thing anyway because you didn't want what I wanted.
I'll make it easy for you. I'm not even paying attention, so you can bid whatever you want.
Anyway, so that's my quick little review. Well, actually, it wasn't very quick, but that's like a kind of an overview of Emperor's Choice. And yeah, that I think is going to be our next Kickstarter. That's
so you know what that means. Lance and Ant show is coming.
Lance and Ant show is coming to discuss the game and whatever. So I mean, I guess so that's going on. Yeah, just what else has been going on in my life? Not much. I guess I'm kind of getting ready for Origins. Did we want to talk about Origins at all yet, or do we want to do that next week?
No, Anthony, go ahead and name the 4 games that are coming out at Origins, and then we can move on.
I'm not going, so I don't care. I know Keith wanted to talk about it. He apparently has a bit of a headache.
Yeah, he's in chat, but he's not on.
Well, let's wait, and we can discuss Origins next week then.
Okay.
Before.
Perfect. I won't be here.
Aw.
I've got a trade show next week. I'll be at the PhD speed dating next week. So.
Oh, you'll be at Origins though, won't you?
Nope.
Well, that's
I
right.
do not go to Origins anymore.
Womp womp.
Same reason I don't go to BGG or any of the other shows. If it's not a trade show, it doesn't fall into my new job title. So only big show I go to is Gen Con.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
You can't just go for funsies?
I can if I take vacation time, but with me traveling 3 of the last 5 weeks, the last thing I want to do when I get home next Friday is take a week off to go to Origins. I'm going to take a family vacation and hit Dice Tower for a couple days, and I may go to BGG at the end of the year, depending on vacation time and how I'm feeling for another week of travel. But that's the only 2 shows I'd probably go to. I would only do small shows on vacation stuff because if I go to a bigger show, I just end up working anyway.
Hey, I heard your the limo didn't pick you up in time for the.
I was standing outside for 2 days. I thought maybe I got the days wrong, and I was just standing out there waiting, and the car never came, so I missed my flight.
No, that's a shame. My limo showed up on time
for BGG Spring.
Yeah.
But I said if Anthony's not going, I'm not going, so I refused it.
Solidarity.
That's right. Gotta stick together.
You either bring all the boomers or none. Your choice.
Oh,
nice. I wonder if Scott will show his $87 million head tonight.
Yeah, he's probably pretty tired. Maybe he's still recouping from the show. It just ended a couple days ago.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, Jim.
Jim.
Hi.
What's going on there, champ?
Oh, life in general. End of the school year. Lots of concerts. Lots of show choir stuff. Lots of this. Lots of that. Lots of travel for me. So busy guy.
I just got home from my daughter's 5th grade concert this evening.
Awesome. Those are the best. I love those. They only get better.
Well, if it got worse,
they have to get better.
Yeah, they kind of have to get better. No, they gave it their all. I'll say that. They did not shy away. Just there was moments where I was like, okay, they get a little bit lost here, but that's fine. The kids look like they're having a blast, though, and I think that's what's important, right?
So,
that's what's really important. Absolutely.
Pete, your daughter does dance, right?
She did ballet for a little while. Now she's getting more into gymnastics.
Oh, okay.
But I've been to recitals before.
Yeah,
yes.
The dance recitals are the best because I can do the tap dance routine that every group of 3 and 4-year-olds does. Because no matter what school it is, it's the same exact routine. And the funny thing is with the recitals is you have my kids are on the competition team also.
How old?
My kids are 16 and the youngest is 11. Okay. But they've been doing it since they were kids. But they're on the competition team, so you can tell the kids that are the competition dancer teams because they do the competition numbers and then they do the regular class numbers. So the competition kids are mixed in with the regular kids, and for the older ones, they're usually all pretty good. But for the younger ones, there's always that one kid who just sits there and just it's basically just she's got her finger in her mouth, and she's just swaying back and forth. And she has no idea, and she smiles, and every once in a while, she looks at the person next to them, and then moves their arms, and it's cute. The thing about those shows is you sit through so many. Like, I don't mind going, but like we go to competitions, and it's literally all day. And I like watching the kids from our school that I know, but I sit through like 300 other kids. I have no idea who the hell they are.
My daughter was on the competition team until she was about 14 or 15. And the first recital we went to her school alone, it was 8 hours long. It was, then they got it down to 4 hours. But, oh, my God, it's just the best part for me was, besides seeing my kid, obviously, was all the new music I got exposed to.
Yeah, but then have you gotten exposed to you're watching someone dance, and you're like, wait a minute, what the hell did they do to that song? It's a song and it's a really weird version of it.
Yeah, because they have to cut it to the time limit of the.
Oh no, it's not even that. It's like a cover version of the song, and it's like slowed down, and it's a little slightly different tempo, and it's a different arrangement. And you're like, oh my God, what the hell did they do to that song?
It's funny. That song "Royals" by Lorde.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard an African version of it, sort of almost reggae. And I was like, where the hell did this come from? And I was like, oh yeah, it's been out for a while. It's like, I've never heard this before. It's brilliant.
And what's even funny is when they dance the songs that they only know it by that new artist version.
Yeah, right. They don't know the original.
So like the song, well, like for years, for like 3 or 4 years in a row, every school had a number that did Mad World.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know the Tears for Fears version, but they were all doing that.
That's the only one I hate. They were doing the Parks version.
Yeah, they were doing. Well, they were all doing the new version, the really slowed, haunting sounding one.
Yeah, there's like 2 of those now. There's one by Alex Parks and one by who's the guy who did it for Donnie Darko?
That's the version they do. The
Donnie Darko
version. When it's just him. There's no real music or anything. It's just him.
So, because I was gone so long, I wanted to give you something to make fun of me. So I put a little game.
We don't need anything for that.
So. I put a little game together for you guys.
Oh, we have a game.
Yeah. Are you ready?
I'm always ready for a game.
All right. So what I did was I took either the name of a comic book character or their secret identity or the name of their team or comic book or whatever. And I've got 2 sentences. The first sentence ends with a blank. The second sentence begins with a blank. And those 2 blanks make up the name. So here's your example. The pirate flag wasn't black, it was blank. Blank and crossbones were white, though.
Red Skull.
Exactly. All right. So you see how to play this?
Maybe.
I think so.
Are you ready? The first one I'm going to give you a hint is for Pete.
Okay.
Actually,
Jaws. Quick, Brody.
What part of superhero and comic books did you not understand?
There was a comic book Jaws.
Actually, all right, ready? Yes. Actually, the shark's name was Blank. Blank and Garth hosted a public access television show.
Anthony. Bruce Wayne.
Anthony got it first.
Yep, very nice. I knew the Bruce, didn't get the Wayne fast enough.
Number 2. Thank you for the tour of your ship, Blank. Blank has some great naval facilities.
Say it again.
Anthony, Captain America.
Anthony is correct. Number 3, Roger, Delta, Bravo, Blank. Blank 431 is cleared for landing.
Alpha Flight.
Absolutely.
Lance, I beat you with comic book trivia.
He kicks
because I'm not catching on here.
You're not paying attention, that's why. All right. Lots of gators down there in the blank. Blank is, you can't see them.
Swamp Thing.
You got it. Give it to me straight. Blank tingling in my fingers and toes is a bad thing, isn't it?
Doctor Strange.
You got it. Both of them came to the wedding, my uncle and my blank. Blank. It was awesome to see them again.
Aunt-May.
Ant-Man. Yeah, that was
there you go. On the X-ray, the area showed up blank. Blank scan showed nothing.
Black Cat.
Correct.
Mm.
We tried everything blank. Blank paper scissors was the only way to agree who should take the night watch.
Sergeant Rock.
Correct. Look, I'll be blank. Blank was a decent show, but Nathan Fillion was better in Firefly.
Frank Castle.
Correct. 3 more to go. You are an idealistic Jedi, blank. Blank matches solve most. You got it.
Hey, can we actually hear the thing, Mr.
No.
Number 11. No, the rat's name was Blank. Blank was a television series about a cop with a family history of fighting creatures from folklore.
Ben Grimm.
Correct. And last but not least, oh my God, that hand was blank. Blank jacks against 3 aces for the win.
Fantastic Four.
Bingo! And that's the end of my little game.
Very clever. Has everybody seen Solo?
No.
Not yet. Going Saturday.
Not sure if I'm going to see it or not. Haven't decided yet.
It's worth it.
Mm.
What? Just you don't think it'll be good, or what?
I wasn't excited about it to begin with, but I've heard good things coming from it, so I feel like that this is more on track with what people want. But it just I still haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet. I want to see that.
Deadbolt. Can't get through this door.
Yeah, I'm not excited for Solo, so I may go see it. I may not. It all depends. But with me traveling next week, it won't be for a couple weeks.
Hey,
go ahead.
Let me go backwards for a minute in time. Has everyone here seen Shape of Water?
No.
Yes.
No?
Boy, I've heard a lot about it.
I think it's definitely worth seeing. Anthony, without spoiling it for them, what did you think of the ending? Did you take it literally or figuratively?
I didn't know how to take it, only because I know the director too well. So I've watched it twice.
Okay.
And after I watched it the first time, I thought one thing, and then I watched it the second time, and I thought the other thing. But I still don't know exactly what the ending's supposed to be. If it's supposed to be real or not. Yeah.
So I'm on the camp where if you watch the beginning and you listen to it like a story and an interpretation, that's how I like the ending to be. Anyway, you guys, I highly recommend that movie. It would be a wonderful movie to talk about on this show.
Well, I'm sorry, but like the next 5 movies we talk about are all taken up by Last Jedi. So,
And that sweet new Boba Fett flick that they announced.
Well, let's hope they don't screw it up. I'll say this about Solo. This is totally non-spoilerized, I guess. I'll put it this way: is that I wasn't sold on the actor playing him all that much. There were definitely some moments where it was like, okay, well, he's trying to be Harrison Ford-esque, and so like I could see him making those attempts, which I appreciated. I don't think he really pulled it off very well. But I'll say this, as far as the character of Han, I think they did like the character of Han justice. It was just I don't know. I enjoyed it. I was planning on going to it with my daughter over the holiday weekend, and a buddy of mine, like the night before Friday, he was like, "Hey, I ended up with an extra ticket for like the 9 o'clock showing. You want to go to it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go." So I went to it, and like I said, I was like, and he was also in the camp of people that like just hated Last Jedi. So like we kind of went into it, and we were just like, well, we hope they don't screw this up, and so I probably went into it with like a negative attitude, and I was like, and I came out of it saying, that wasn't bad.
So that's how I expect my review to it to be. I'm going in with such low expectations that I'm sure I'll end up liking it, but I'm just not excited to go see it.
But then I took my daughter to it, and she liked it too.
I've decided to consciously enjoy every movie I see.
Well, that's kind of impossible with some of them.
It's possible with everything.
Well, no, I don't think that is, because like I'm going to go consciously like enjoy this root canal without anesthesia.
I said movie, not root canal.
Well, I mean, just some movies feel like that, like The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi was fine.
Anyway, you're not going to take me down the rabbit hole. I'm not going to do it. It was so I do take umbrage to this idea that like, this is the like supposedly like there is this huge boycott of Solo and whatever. I mean, I will say there's people that are probably in like Pete's camp where they're just kind of like, yeah, you are kind of fatigued in the movie at this point, like of Star Wars, because I got let down by the movie and I don't really feel like,
And this is from someone who didn't even hate Last Jedi. Like, I did not like Last Jedi, but I didn't hate it like you hate it. But I just thought there were scenes that could have been done better and the movie could have been streamlined more. I'm just not interested in Solo because Solo's story is pretty much...
That's what I'm saying. Because most of us people who are big Star Wars geeks or whatever, already know the story for the most part. Unless they change the story, which would piss people off. So, like you said last week about the Kessel Run thing, Lance, like you sat there and like, okay, well, the ship made the Kessel Run, and you're like, I really hope they don't take it away from him. But I'm sure people sat there and went, oh, they're going to screw this up. We know the story, we get to see it happen, but we kind of know what happens. That's why Boba Fett is actually
the mythos of the Kessel Run is better not seen and just through story because. Then it's up to your interpretation of whether it really happened or not.
Because the Boba Fett thing, a lot of people, unless you're big deep into it, don't know a lot about Boba Fett. So at least that way you can kind of tell what's out there and then embellish some because there are holes in the Boba Fett story and even in the
they'll pick up from episode 3 when his dad dies all the way up to probably what happens to him after he goes in the Sarlacc pit.
First off, I don't give a shit about Boba Fett. My problem is that parsecs are a unit of distance, not time, and that pisses me off. All right, I'm done.
I'll say this then, that the Solo movie kind of explains that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Go on.
Go on. My local.
But I still don't give a shit about Boba Fett. I hate Boba Fett. Wasted time.
Why?
Go on. He's a douchebag. Next.
I hope they use a Boba Fett with a really British accent.
Boba Fett, darling. Actually, Boba Fettish would be an interesting character. Speaking of fetish, I got to see Dita Von Teeslest 2 weeks ago.
Who's that? I know the name.
Dita Von Teese is a burlesque artist, and she is freaking phenomenal.
She looks just like Betty Page.
Yeah, oh, she's amazing. Her show was unbelievable. I went with my wife, and it was unbelievable. Her show was unbelievable. Her show was it was just an amazing, enjoyable experience.
I bet. Well, good. I'm glad you got to go see something you enjoyed. What was? Oh, so
damn it! I almost had him thrown off.
It's not really a grievance, but so my local Warhammer store, the guy that was the employee there that ran the store, he like up and quit and just vanished. And well, he didn't vanish. He just said, I can't do this anymore, and quit his job. And so Games Workshop has these people that their whole job is just if excuse me, a person who runs a store like takes some time off or like gets sick or gets fired or whatever, and they need somebody to run a Games Workshop store for a little while they get another person in there or the person gets better or whatever. That's their job. They go all across the nation and they just work at these stores and work at them until they have a more permanent person. So anyway, there's this guy at the one that's local, and you know how like when you have like a store and like the guy that runs the store kind of has his like own way of running things and has like a personality and just like it's kind of a person that you feel like you can go to and you end up shooting the bull with them for a little while, and you know it's just kind of like a nice little store or whatever. This corporate stooge guy, man, he makes it just like work to be at the Warhammer store. Like instead of like feeling like it's a laid back like personal like interaction, like everything, I just feel like everything this guy says is like right out of the GW manual as far as like what he's supposed to say and how. I mean, like he answered the phone when I was in the store today, and like apparently like he couldn't hear the person, and he's like hello, and he's like hello, and he's like I do apologize, sir or ma'am. If you are talking, I can't hear you. I'm going to disconnect the line now, but if you could try again and call back, hopefully we'll be able to get connected. And I was just like, it's like he's like an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of blank typing paper, and I just anyway, it's not really.
So wait, what's wrong with the way he handled that? I don't understand.
It's just like it's like everything's right out of the book, right? And then like so like I was up,
but he was polite.
It was right out
of, but not personable.
Yeah.
It's the person who calls you on the phone. Like telemarketers, if they called you and they actually spoke to you, wouldn't be as annoying as the one to go, hello, sir or madam. I am Jill from such and such, and I want to tell you about a great opportunity to, and they're reading it.
I can understand your point about being polite but not personable. I accept that.
So you know, I'm literally like just hoping. I mean, not that like you know, I don't know. The guy who ran it was a bit of a flake, but he was a nice guy and he had a good attitude, and he was a good, excuse the term, bullshitter. I mean, he was just like he could chew the fat and bullshit with the best of them. And this guy is like he is all business, and that's and which you know fine, maybe whatever. So like I was up late one night and I saw like Games Workshop models come in and out of stock constantly. Like you know they'll like, oh well, we don't have a lot of these little models or whatever, especially like you know like some of the more rare ones, and so they'll print or they'll mold inject 500 of them, and then they'll go on sale, and like if you don't get them during a little brief window, you just aren't going to get one for a while. So I got an email saying that somewhere back in stock, and I was like, awesome. And so I ordered them. And if you have them sent to your house, like you have to pay shipping, but if you have them sent to the store, you don't have to pay shipping. So I sent them to the store. Plus, they get sent quicker. they go to the store. So I knew that the store got them today. So I drove over there over my lunch hour, and I went in, and I was like, and the guy knows me. I mean, it's just like I've been there, I've talked to him. He's asked me questions about how like the store runs, and where's a good place to go eat. He and I have had conversations. I mean, really basic conversations, but we've had conversations. He even at one point asked me, "Are you a regular at the store?" And I was like, "I'm kind of a regular." He's like, "Well, what time did the person who worked here take lunch? So I know I can take lunch at the same time." And I was like, "Oh, you know." So it's just he walks in and like I was like, "Yeah, I think you have some models or whatever for me that I ordered." And he's like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Oh, geez, you know, it's like you know what my name is, but whatever." "Well, let me see your ID," and then like like to make sure that he gives the which technically I guess yes, you probably should do that or whatever. But you know who I am. I told you exactly what the models were. It's like who's gonna walk in off the street and say, "You have my Saurus Sunguard and Astrolith like Skink Bearer." Models. Nobody's gonna ask that. But once again, regardless. So then he brings them out. He's got them in his hand, and I can see the boxes in his hand, and he's like, I don't want to sound like I'm lecturing you. And I was like, okay. And I'm not trying to give you, I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I was like, okay. He's like, you had these shipped to the store. Why? And I was like, well, because I don't have to pay for shipping, and then it's quicker. Was there a reason why you didn't order them through the store? I was like, because I was up at midnight and you weren't open. So I wanted to make sure I got them. And he's like, you do realize the store doesn't get credit for this sale. And I was just like, no, I didn't know that. And he's like, when you don't order them through the store, that's why Warhammer stores close. And I was just like, oh, is this store in
but that's when you tell that son of a bitch that I spent a lot of money at the store on other things, and this is basically the thing that keeps me coming here, you shithead.
And I was like, okay. And mind you, he's still holding my box and like that's got my stuff in it, and he's kind of like holding it like he wants to give me this story, and he's just like, and I was like, is this store in danger of closing? And he's like, well, we signed a 5-year lease. And I was like, yeah, and you haven't even been open for a year. I guess I'm not really worried about it. And he's like, he said it's attitudes like that close stores. It's like, can I just have my models, please? I was just like, and then like a few moments later, some guy came in and then like he started trying to pressure him into like spending money on a bunch of models, and he's like, oh, I don't know how long that box set's going to be around. That's a pretty good deal. It's like, oh, you suck. You just like, and I get it. He's full corporate and he's all about the sale and whatever. And
But from the corporate standpoint, he got the sale.
Yeah.
If he's corporate, that's all he should care about. What he should have tried to do is sell you the paints and brushes to paint those models that you just bought, and that's the reason for picking them up in the store.
Well, he does. He does. He's like, oh, do you have all the paints? This? I was like, I have hundreds of paints.
This is what I would have said. I would have said, listen, Chuck.
Richard. His name was actually Richard.
Listen, Dick.
Dick.
May I call you Dick? Why don't you go and punch my name into your little computer over there and just look at all the things I've purchased in your store already? Dick? May I call you Dick? I'm not trying to say how you should talk to customers.
I'm not trying to stroke your ego, Dick.
I'm not trying to say how you should talk to customers, but maybe you should look to see how much money is actually spent in this store from people like me, and the fact that I bought something and had it shipped to your store, so at least the company knows that I frequent your store, Dick. May I call you Dick?
I'm sure he thought he was doing the right thing, and whatever. But I don't know. It was just like I drove home. I was so mad Like my daughter like has her friend, her dad on Wednesdays. Like she gets a ride home with her friend and her friend's dad. And like this guy doesn't know anything about anything as far as games go. Like I've invited him over for gaming, and he's like, I don't have. He's like, I got adult ADD. I can't pay attention long enough to do any of that stuff. I was like, that's cool. But I was like telling him this story, and I'm like, why am I telling you this? You don't care. I was so. He's like, because you're mad. I understand. Sounds like the guy was a tool. I was like, he was a tool. Thank you, Dominic. He was a total tool.
Is he still there?
But whatever. I'm sure what he did was.
Is he still there?
Who?
The guy.
Dick.
Wow. Still running the store?
That's right. Well, not right now. I mean,
no. But he's still running the store, right?
Why? I'm not going to have you complain.
I'm just going to call and just speak to him.
Go ahead. He's 2 hours behind. It's only 9:11. He's probably still there.
No. I'll call him tomorrow.
Why don't you call him Dick?
And I won't call him to complain. I'll just call and inquire.
Inquire?
I'll make an inquiry.
I think you should call and say, "Excuse me, Mr. Dick. You've been treating one of my associates poorly."
So
I'd hate for that to come back and haunt you.
Because I don't usually pick up my phone if I don't recognize the number. But for some reason, I was waiting for a phone call from someone, and I didn't have their number. So my phone rang. I picked it up, and it was one of those scam things. The IRS is gonna come and throw me in jail.
Oh, or let me get you a lower interest rate on your credit card.
No. They called because the IRS was going to throw me in jail for my tax fraud.
And people don't know that the IRS never calls.
Well, I know that, but the first thing I said to him was like, "Oh my God, Prince Narabu said I wouldn't have to claim the money. It was a gift." And the guy's like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, oh my God, Prince Narabu sent me money, and he told me he just needed some help, and just said I could keep it. It would be a gift. I did not realize I had to claim that. I'm so very sorry. Can I file an extension? And the guy is like, "Oh, well, hold on. Let's excuse you."
Anthony, I love hearing your stories.
It was funny. Because I know, I deal with taxes all the time. People ask me tax questions at work. And as soon as it gets started, I was like, oh, my God.
So the thing I find interesting is people who do these Facebook puzzles where it says, enter your mother's maiden name in order to find out the second name of your Star Wars name or something like that. And they don't realize that they're basically asking you for the fundamental elements for identity theft.
Yeah.
And you're just giving them to them by filling out these stupid quizzes.
Every once in a while, I get on the phone with someone and have a thing. So I had registered the website for the publishing company, and they literally within the 5 days in a row after I did, I got nothing but messages from people calling about oh, we partner with your service provider to create websites. I'm like, you do? I said, so they gave you my information? Yes, they do. I'm like, really? So who gave you my information? Oh no, I said, they didn't sell it to you? No. They just get a percentage if I said, oh, so they sold it to you. Oh, no. They gave it, I wrote everyone's name. I spoke to everyone. I'm like, I said, I'm not interested. Please don't call me again. Oh, I'll call you again. I said, no, I just told you not to call me again. Oh, I'll call you. Don't worry. I'll call you in a couple of days. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? So I got everyone's name and everyone's company that they work for. I called up my service provider. I said, I got a question for you. I said, I understand you wanted me to pay to not be in the who's is thing, which doesn't really matter because they can still find you anyway. But do you pass this information along? And they're like, no. And I'm like, are you 100% sure? I said, I'm recording you right now. You tell me right now that you do not give my information to anyone. He's like, sir, we do not pass your information to anyone. The only place they get information is from the who's is thing. And that's anyone who registers a website, and the information you registered with is on there. And he goes, they sit there like vultures and just every day just see all the new names that went on it. And they just keep trying until someone falls for it and signs with them. I'm like, okay, that's all I wanted to know. So that guy who said, I'm going to call you in 2 days, calls me back. I see the number come up. And I'm like, where are you located? Oh, we're in California. I'm like, well, your caller ID says you're in Tennessee. He's like, well, this is a call center. I'm like, well, if you're calling from within the United States, it would still say California. And then I'm like, well, if you're in California, I'll tell you what, give me your local number in California and I will call you right back at that number. Oh, well, we don't have a local number. I'm like, because you're not in California. And then I'm like, and you're telling me that you're a partner with them. And he's like, yes, we partner with them. And I said, oh, okay, hold on 1 second. And I play back the recording of the guy saying, we don't give your information to anyone. They're all scamming you. And this guy starts yelling at me and cursing at me. Who do you think you are? I'm like, who do you think you are? Like, obviously, I'm not interested. I was very polite. But you're telling me you're going to keep bothering me. I'm not going to be polite anymore. And I'm like yelling, fuck you, into the phone at them. But it ends like after 5 days. You put it with 5 days of nonsense, and then it just stops. But, or you could pay $6.99 a month to remain off the Who's Is list, which isn't worth it. But
so, Anthony, are you going to be at Origins?
No, I'm not. My kids' end of year dance recital is that Saturday.
Oh, family first.
Yeah, I was thinking of going and then coming back, but I was like, okay, well, then I'll go on Tuesday and come back on Friday night or Saturday morning. And then I'm like, okay, well, I already have to fly or then I have to drive. And I'm like, you know what? Just forget it.
Yeah, it's a bitch. I'm going to fly. I'm going to be leaving on Sunday before to go to Mexico City, give a 2-hour lecture, fly back on Monday night, pack the car on Tuesday, and drive out and set up on Wednesday.
Yeah, because we were going to go and meet some people to look at some designs that people wanted to pitch to us. Yeah. But Kevin is a teacher, and that's the last week of school.
So are you actually going to be publishing games then?
Yeah. I have this back right here.
I got this guy who's contacting me to try to pitch me at Gen Con, and I have no interest at all. You want me to steer him toward you?
What's it about?
Basic. I think it's basically a board game to simulate miniature golf.
No.
Okay. No, let me see what his other one is.
I got a guy who says it's the new and improved version of Apples to Apples. But with a hilarious twist.
That's called Cards Against Humanity.
No, he said hilarious.
The only every Cards Against Humanity game goes like this. You play a couple of rounds, and then people just start grabbing a bunch of cards and trying to come up with the dirtiest thing they possibly can make.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hang on, Anthony. Here we go. He's got amusement park, medium weight strategy game about building your own amusement park. 2 to 4 players, 40 to 70 minutes. Tile placement, action point allowance, pricing system. Other one is Mini Golf Madness.
No, the Mini Golf Madness definitely is not. The other one, send me the info.
All right, I'll send it to you.
I'll look at the other one.
Awesome. So I started writing articles.
I saw.
Yep. I think you'll like the next one that's coming out. It's called Mental Anchors and Mind Flayers. And I just wrote one about why I don't use crowdsourcing, and then I'm going to write one about my Charisma 7 wizard. After that, I'm tapped out for ideas and I'm fucked.
Let the muse take you.
So you're going to be at Gen Con, though, right, Anthony?
I will be at Gen Con, yeah.
And Pete, you'll be there too?
I'll be at Gen Con, not Origins.
And Lance, you'll be at Gen Con?
Yes, sir.
We'll all be at Gen Con.
I still want you guys to come out to my house and have some fucking drinks.
Mm-hmm. Just depends on which night. Mm-hmm.
I don't fucking care.
Jesus. You gonna go to the fucking mall later too?
I'm sorry. This is a fucking family show, isn't
it? Fuck yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Anything else interesting happened to anybody lately?
I announced the end of the podcast.
The end? Did?
Yep.
What do you mean the end?
We're going to the end of the year. We're going to do 100 episodes, and that's it. And then we're done.
Why are you going to be done?
Because
you have such a mellifluous voice, though.
The thing is, I don't have time to do it. Like, I have time to do the actual podcast. It's all the stuff I have to do for the podcast I don't have time for.
Yeah.
So, like, lately I've been playing a lot of prototype stuff. And it's not just stuff for us. I've been helping out some other people with some development stuff. So I can't even talk about the stuff that I'm playing. And then it's like, okay, and then I got to sit and edit it and all that. And I don't want to play the fucking...
Why don't you just do the podcast and have somebody else do the editing for you?
Pick up an intern for it.
Pick up an intern. They'll get experience.
I don't need an intern. Intern, schmintern. But I need to dedicate whatever free time I have to work on board game stuff for the company. So
you can pay them in exposure.
Mm-hmm.
No,
you can expose them for free.
So yeah, we're going to 100. So we have 11 more to go.
Wow, it's like the end of an era. How do you feel about that? Mixed feelings, or are you happy?
Oh, I mean, I talk to my co-hosts all the time anyway, and they all own a little piece of the company. So we'll continue talking to each other every day. So it's not that big a deal. It's just I won't be recording it. But I am free to be on anyone else's podcast who has one. That means I can talk and don't have to edit.
I'm surprised no one's come out with a game yet about running a podcast.
It's boring.
So is every fucking Euro game that they've made.
Wow.
I'll just be a semi-regular guest on the TMG podcast.
Yeah, well,
the Lance and Ant show.
Yeah,
join the Secret Cabal.
No, there's too many people on there already.
Don't they have like 7-8 guys now?
No, there's 5 on each podcast.
Wow,
there's 5 people on the Secret Cabal, and there's 5 on the RPG one they do, the Lords of the Cabal or whatever it is. It's Jamie's on both, and then the other 4 people are different on each one.
Oh, good for them.
You could be the Cabal repairman. You like show up at strange times.
No, they already have an Anthony. They already have an Anthony on the show, so they don't need another one. They have Tony here.
Tony.
Well, good for them and their success, right?
Yeah, I enjoy listening.
I
haven't listened to it in a while. I haven't listened to many podcasts. I listen to a lot of non-game related podcasts now.
My wife listens to the Mike Rowe, The Way I Heard It, which is basically a rehash of the Paul Harvey Now You Know the Rest of the Story.
Does he read the page numbers?
No, but he kind of tells a story about somebody that like it basically it leads you down a path and then it twists it around and you know like you go, oh, okay, you know, so like there's this there was this, like the one that she told me to listen to, you know, taking care of the most expensive suit you own or something was the name of the taking care of the most expensive suit you'll ever wear was the name of it. And so they talk about you know, this guy and he's talking about how like he had been picked to play the part, and you know, he's like he stood at the threshold, or you know, he stood as his friend got ready to take front and center on the stage with the whole world watching. He shook his hand and told him good luck. And his friend went out and he said the line, he said the line and everybody cheered, and everything. And he's like, that should have been me. But instead, I'll always be remembered as the man who, he doesn't say take a piss, but the man who relieved himself on his suit, and so then they kind of go through this whole thing and this story. And ultimately, the guy's name is, you find out the guy's name is Ed, and you're kind of like, oh, and so he leads you to believe that it's like a Broadway play, that sort of thing. He was picked by the director. He was going to be the one. He was going to be the lead. But with just 2 weeks before, he was told that his best friend in the world, Neil, was going to do it instead. And then you find out it's Neil Armstrong who got to walk on the moon first. And then when he pissed in his suit, he's the person who actually was the first person ever, while wearing a spacesuit, to actually use the urine discharge valve, which saved his urine while inside his suit. And that's why he's he was the first man ever to pee in his suit, basically. So it's like, oh, okay, that's clever, and it's like this little clever story, and it's kind of neat. He kind of brings it all around.
Yeah, you've told better stories.
Well, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it justice. But
it calls back the Donovan song, Galactic Laxative.
Yeah, maybe. But if you want to watch, and the episodes are like 10, 12 minutes long. They're not. And it's it's Mike Rose, so it's just kind of like, oh, okay, old folksy guy, telling you a little story. So it's not much time out of your day, and it is kind of a fun little story, and you learn something kind of neat. Like the other one I listened to was
I like the rest of that story when Neil got back in the ship. He bangs on the door. Hope you had a great piss, Alan.
What was it? There was one where there was this jockey, and all he wanted to do was he wanted to race horses, and he wanted to be part of horses, and he went to go work at this ranch. And the guy told him, it's like you're a natural, and he's just like, yeah, I've always wanted to race horses, I always wanted to be a jockey, and they were, and he was, but he also, the guy realized that he had kind of like a flair for the dramatic, and a friend of his was auditioning for a play. And so, and he told him, you should go try out for this play. And he's like, I don't want to go try for play. I want to be a rancher. I want to work with horses. I want to be a jockey. And he's like, no, you need to go and do it. And so he goes and he tries out for the play, and he actually gets the lead, to the surprise or anything. And so he gets the lead, but he wants to, work at a stable. He still wants to be involved with horses and everything like that. Until he's doing the play, and he and the rest, and a few other people from his that are on the play are going to be on the Ed Sullivan Show. And he gets to watch it's the night the Beatles are on, and he gets to watch from backstage the Beatles, and he's not only is he thinks the music is great, but he looks and he sees the adoration of the fans, the female fans in the audience. They're just going absolutely crazy. And he realized at that moment that that's what he wanted to do. And so then he would go on, and he puts little hints as the thing goes on, so you can kind of get to the point. And you figure out that it's Davy Jones of the Monkees.
Ah, nice.
And that's what he always wanted to be. He wanted to be, he wanted to work in a ranch and stuff. But he saw how people reacted, and what did he say? He was like he gave up the horses to become a daydream believer, and you're like, that's David Jones. You catch on there at the end. But well worth it. You gotta sit through like a 1 minute commercial and then you get to listen to it.
So did I ever tell you about the Truth podcast about Voyager Found?
Yeah.
So I put it in the chat. It's a podcast that some voice actors did about what would it be like for the aliens that actually got the golden record from Voyager. It's about, 20 minutes long. It's really a great story. So if you're interested, the link is in the chat.
What would they think?
It was, they find the record. It's a setup. It's a setup where they're like in this society that the people are being observed all the time. They're very individualized. They don't talk to their neighbors, and it's a rather inspiring story about how reaching out from another planet, they figure out, allows them to reach out to their neighbors. It's a really great story. I encourage you to take a listen to it.
It sounds interesting.
It is very much so. Very much so.
Pete, you're still with us. You're not talking.
Yeah, I'm just sitting back listening.
Got any? Hey, how did you guys did pretty well with that little? Not that this is your department anymore, but you did pretty well with that 5-day Kickstarter.
Yeah, Arcadia Quest Riders. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was whose idea was that? Was it your idea? Was that your big idea?
Oh, it's not my idea. It was company's idea. They're just trying to do some different things. You try not to get complacent and do the same thing over and over again. So you try different things to see what works and what doesn't. So this was the first of these based on the results. I'm pretty sure we'll probably have another one at some point, but they haven't announced anything official yet. So. Yeah,
it was quick and easy, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely easier than most campaigns to keep up with because it was only 5 days. So even with late backing, it's only a couple-week campaign. So it made it easier to track and whatnot. But yeah, it's Arcadia Quest. It's an older title, so they were testing the waters a little bit with it to see what kind of response we'd get and what the feedback would be from it. So they're evaluating all that and then decide on whether to do it again for something else.
Anybody back anything recently on Kickstarter?
No, I've slowed down a ton since that barrage of stuff at the beginning of the year.
I have 2. Just nothing other than some random RPG stuff. I've been kind of staying clear.
Yeah, I think the last thing I backed was the Splat Attack. I got Splat Attack. That's the only thing I backed in the last couple months.
I bought a bag, leather bag. That's it.
Oh, I did Orc Stabber. I did back that. I backed Orc Stabber and Nickelodeon Splat Attack. That's the only 2 things I've backed since like Batman and Fireball Island and all that wave of them. That Street Fighter. Those 3 games all came out in like a month period and drained my wallet. So I've only backed a couple things.
I got kind of pissed at the Orc Stabber one.
Why?
Because it was fun when no one it was just this Orc Stabber guy, this character thing, and he was doing it. He has a Twitter account and everything. And then I found out who actually was doing it, and they started promoting it and talking about it. And I'm like, oh man, you kind of ruined the whole mystique about it. What made it fun?
Yeah, it's $2. $2 I don't care.
It's still fun. I'm still in, but I'm just saying you just ruined the whole thing. Like the fact that no one knew it was you.
Who was it again that was doing it?
It's the guys at Sandy Pug Games. They're a really small operation, but I mean it's hysterical. But they should have just left it the way it was. It was doing fine, and people were talking about it. But then when they started talking about it being them, it was like, oh, you kind of just ruined the whole mystique of the fact that this crazy guy who thinks he's an orc is trying to sell you half a game for $2.
It's up to $3,200.
Oh, here's the thing that infuriated me recently about UPS, and since Pete's here, I can you can tell me why I'm wrong here, and then I'll tell you. So I purchased something that was sent via UPS, but UPS Mail Innovations.
Yep, that's the USPS agreement.
I know what it is. Just you're jumping the gun. You're dancing on my touchdown call here. But anyway, so I ordered the thing. I'm not going to give out any information. Oh, and those I will say this: those Gamity people, they're giving me the stonewall on my replacement book after they swore they'd give it to me. Like they never sent it to me, and then I sent them an email. And I was like, so were you going to send this or not? Just let me know. And then they told me, oh, well, we haven't had any in stock for a while, but we'll get some in the next week or so. And so then I was like, all right, well, you're going to send me one then? They're like, yeah, definitely. And then so that was like a month ago. They're not sending me shit. You know? So, which fine, whatever. You know,
you have their number? I can call them after I called Richard.
Anyway, well, they're
put them in touch with that Nigerian prince.
You don't need, but which is fine. Whatever, I guess. If they're just not going to do it, they're not going to do it, and I'll just move on with my life. But thing gets sent to me. Thing gets to like the post office where it's supposed to be. So here's where what happens is that they have electronic notification that the post office is getting the item, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no actual like scan of the package. So it's like there's been like no, hey, you're gonna get this. Post office says, okay, we're gonna get this. That's where it's at. They said it'd be delivered like so by Tuesday. So Tuesday came and went or whatever. This is a while ago now. But so I call. Like I went to the post office that has it, and I said, hey, so you guys, this is what I'm showing them, and I know the people there pretty well, and they're like, yeah, like we never got it. This is just electronic notification that we're gonna get it. I mean, if we got it, it didn't get scanned, but like it's not in our possession. And so I call up UPS. And I said, okay, so here's the deal. This is what happened. And UPS tells me, it's like, well, it's for us, it's been scanned as the fact that, we know that it made it to the post office. I was like, okay, but the post office, we gave it to the post office. And I said, well, the post office said you never gave it to them. And they're like, well, it's like there's no way we could have made an error. And I was like, that's you can't say that. There's no way you can say you just didn't make an error. It's just like, you can say you have a 0.1% failure rate, but it's possible that you made an error. So I said that's BS. And so I called in. So I said the post office, they're saying this. So I'm not saying post office could have screwed up too. I'm just saying, what can you do for me right now? They're like, well, we can't do anything for you. And I was like, what? Is the process I have to do? Well, you have to contact the person that sent it to you, and they can ask for like a search or a trace or something.
Tracer.
Yeah. So I emailed, called this place, no response, none. Just constantly, I'm barraging them with information, not getting anything back. Which is fine. I'm just like, I'll just dispute it, and then I'll get my money back, and I'll move on with my life. But I mean, I'm annoyed now. So I called the post office, and they're like, well, there's nothing we can do because we don't have it. We never got the package. So I called UPS, and I'm like, well, so I was like, you guys didn't give it to them, or like you gave it to them and they don't have any record of it. So I was like, they're like, well, you need to do this. I was like, I've been trying. They won't, I can't get it. They're like, well, there's nothing we can do for you. I was just like, I realize this is like a really small percentage of like situations where this would occur, but it was infuriating on my end because it was like nobody can do anything for me, and I'm left holding the bag. I found that exceedingly frustrating. that it's just like just start just look into it. I was like telling the UPS, just look into it. See if the driver screwed up.
But here's the thing. So what they can do, they refuse not to do, but what they can do is, unless yours is the only package as part of the UPS handover thing that day, they know what day they delivered it and what time they delivered it. And so if they have to look to see what else was delivered at that same time to that same post office. And then they can say, okay, well, post office, did Mr. Smith get his package? And like, yeah, we got Mr. Smith's package. Like, well, it was delivered at the same time.
Well, it depends. Was it a small item or a big item?
It was small.
So the small items are all in a sack. So they'll get this big white sack and they'll put 10 or 12 packages inside of it. They'll scan it, then they'll scan the sack, and then they zip tie the sack. That's probably where UPS scanned it and said it was going to the post office. Somewhere along the line, that sack may have broken apart and the package may have fallen out, or it may have got put in the wrong sack. Even though it was scanned for sack A, it may have accidentally went in sack B, and that's why they're not finding it. If it's small package, they lock those up and zip tie them in a burlap type sack and deliver them that way. Because the post office, at least back when I was working for them, that's how they handled all the small packages, and anything that was bigger than, say, a shoebox would go outside of the sacks and be just a normal package that would be scanned individually. But everything in those sacks would be scanned as a bundle for that sack, and then the sack tracking number would be how you would track a package going from point A to point B. So they'd get bundled up at the center and then sent out to the post office. So if it got in the wrong one or didn't make it in the one it was supposed to go to, and then the package is loose floating around somewhere, it could be why they're not finding it. I've seen that happen many times before. There's not a lot of money invested in the UPS innovations thing because they only get a small portion of the proceeds, because most of the money is given to the post office because they're doing the end delivery. All they're using is our freight service, or UPS's freight service, to get it from point A to point B. And then UPS drops it off at the post office, and then they deliver it to your door. So there's not a lot of visibility on it. Once it leaves UPS's system, they got no idea where it is.
Yeah, I guess my biggest thing was, it was like, you guys said that there's no chance we made the error. They like flat out said that. I was just
on the operator's standpoint, if they've got a scan showing it was delivered to the post office, then that's, to them, there is no error because they've got a scan receipt showing the post office accepted it. And what you've got is a miscommunication between the post office and UPS, because if there was a scan for it and the person at the UPS or at the post office signed for it, but didn't check the package count or check to see if any of the sacks were open, then they could have signed for it but not received it. But UPS's side, they don't know that because it was scanned and signed for. And generally, it's a 99.9% chance if they got a scan showing the scan going to the user and the user receiving it, as far as they're concerned, the package was physically scanned at time of delivery, so it is virtually impossible for it not to be there. But because they sometimes will use the sacks, or sometimes a driver will scan it in the back of his truck and start passing packages and miss it and leave it there. And stuff like that happens too. That's the 0.1%. But generally, if they got a scanned delivery showing it got delivered to the post office, it's at the post office. And those guys may have misplaced it, tossed it in a bin, or when they were unloading the sack, a package fell into the wrong bin, and now it's going somewhere else it's not supposed to be. So I would tend to believe with your situation, probably more on the side of the post office, losing track of the package once it got to them is why they can't find it. Because if they've got a scan from the UPS's side, then unless the driver stole the package out of the back of the truck and had them sign for it, when they didn't deliver it to them, it's probably sitting in the post office somewhere.
So here's the funny end to the story, however. So contact my card company, explain that they put the dispute in. Within, like, because they can see that there's a discrepancy between the tracking and everything like that, and and the fact that they tried to contact the person who sent it and they were getting no response. They ended up just finding the dispute in my favor, whatever, which I knew they do. I was just annoyed that I would have to track down the item again. Dispute. I get the letter, or I get the email, dispute done, blah, 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 whatever. 3 days later, a UPS truck shows up in my house, and the guy drops off the package in front of my door.
So the UPS driver dropped. That means that the package was in one of those sacks and probably fell off at the UPS facility, which is why they didn't know that the package was missing, because they had it showed as being scanned in and delivered to the post office.
So I contacted my credit card company and they're like, hey, I got it, so go ahead and put the charge on there. Just like, they're like, oh, well, thanks for being honest. I was like, well, yeah, I'd hate to go to hell over something this stupid. And then I wanted to call UPS so badly and say, error couldn't have been on your end, right?
There's no possible way.
Mm-hmm.
There's no possible way the error was on your end.
Was this Richard? May I call you Dick?
You experienced the 0.1%.
Yeah, I was very frustrated. But then I was just like, you know what? Just whatever. Just let it go. Breathe out. Like somebody, like the person who told me that, like, who flat out told me that, maybe if you were just like, what was it? Maybe if you were, they didn't say more educated, but maybe if you were able to understand The Last Jedi, you could enjoy it. My eyes just get there.
Hey, Lance, we have a request from the chat.
What's that?
Can you turn your chair so you're facing to your left? Keep going, just so you're like sideways from the camera. Just go sideways. All right, and now lean back a little bit.
Why?
Just lean yourself back. They want you to look like you're getting your hair, like you're under a big hair dryer.
Oh, the lamp looks like a big hair dryer.
Okay. Things you people. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. Forrest, what's up, Cheech?
Not much. Same old, same old.
Wait, Forrest, turn that camera a little bit more. We need to
see that glorious poster.
See the whole poster.
It looks much, much better than the Cage one. I'm better at hanging it up.
I didn't know Nicolas Cage was in The Notebook.
He was lead boy.
Your taste in movies boggles me.
No, it was just a cool poster. I just wanted a really crazy looking poster. But later this year, as part of my Kickstarter, I'm actually going to get a professional backdrop with a logo and my name, and it'll look all.
Don't sell out, man.
Well, my buddy of mine can print it off. He's got a giant printer. I just gotta pay the money to do it.
A buddy of yours can get the bin out of the garbage, and you can get a free refill on it, right?
Anybody can do that, Lance.
Dude, if your buddy can print, then you totally need to get a Nicolas Cage mural on the back wall. Dude, if you're gonna do it, own it.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point. I gotta be professional. I gotta be more professional.
No, you don't.
Why?
Because of TMG sponsor me, they expect professionals.
Yeah, we sure do. Sell out with me, oh yeah. Sell out with me too. Where's Aldi? I wanted to give him some crap.
Gonna give me
I don't know.
Money.
I said he's probably recouping from spring.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a rough time there. BG Spring looked like it was a good time. Yeah, I'm sure the people in attendance enjoyed themselves.
Okay, so I haven't been to the regular BGG Con. Does Aldi actually get to play a lot of games at BGG Con?
I think I've maybe seen him play 1 or 2 games at BGG.
Because he played a ton at BGG Spring.
I think it's a little more low key. I think he definitely has.
Scott is coming. He's in chat now.
He can't get his sound working.
Oh,
there he is.
Hey, speak of the devil.
$6 million man, and he can't get sound going.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, Scott, did you get the money back from the limo company? Because they never showed up.
Which limo company?
The one
that was supposed to pick him up and take him to the airport.
Lyft never showed up?
Nope. Never showed up. I waited for 2 days.
Wow. 2 days.
Then I had to cancel the flight.
The flight.
It was non-refundable ticket.
So I suspect my bill will be in the mail.
Yeah, well.
Oh my god, you guys got to come out. Spring is pretty awesome.
Looked awesome. Pictures.
Yeah, it did look fun.
Really good, actually. It's like hit that tipping point, you know.
I'd have considered it, but you scheduled it on the same week as the ACD distribution show, so there's no way I could go.
Oh, boo!
Yeah, it's.
I saw everybody flying back to wherever the weekend. You could have come out for the weekend.
Mm.
It's such bad timing, though. I mean, it's just like it's right before Origins.
It's 4 days of awesomeness.
Yeah, it's the same week as the Astra show.
I'm not denying that it wouldn't be fun. I'm just saying it's just it's right before.
Literally, there's no better time to do it for us.
I was available. Just standing there waiting like an idiot. I was like that scene in the Jerk when he's hitchhiking, and like the guy stops. How far are you going? I'm going to go to the end of that fence. Okay.
Picks him up, drives him 30 feet.
I need to rewatch that movie. I haven't seen it since I was like 16. Sure, it's
good
changed
stuff
now in my mind.
You can never go back again.
No, spring was good. I mean, it's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Good time.
We raised $17,000
on your sale.
Yeah, $17,000.
Wow,
that was a massive. That picture.
Did you expect it to be that high?
No. I was expecting like under 10.
Wow.
But didn't you sell like every game for like a ridiculous amount of money? Like ridiculously low amount of money?
Nothing was more than 10.
Wow.
I'm saying
they won 16,500 games and made $17,000.
Yeah. Everything was $10 on the first day. Second day, I reluctantly lowered the price to $5.
Wow.
And then we made, and then the third day it was $5. We started out at like minimum $5, but you had to buy it was 2 for $5.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the last hour I went to 5 for
that was give me $2. I'll give you $2 to take this away.
5 for $5. Yeah, we did give away a lot of stuff. We gave away like 5 bins of games at the end. Just like take them.
Wow. So do you have a lot left still, or is it all gone?
Oh, I have thousands.
I still have a lot left.
Yeah, I mean, we have so much. It's crazy.
So you're doing it again at the regular BGG Con?
I think we're gonna make it like a regular thing.
Mm-hmm.
Spring.
Cool.
Spring.
Regular spring thing.
Spring cleaning.
The spring cleaning sale.
Spring cleaning sale. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, if it donates money to charity, it's all good, right?
I did a Periscope, man, and when I walked through, I was like, so I checked the room twice before we opened the doors, and it was just so hard. Actually, 3 times. Once the night before, twice the day of. And I was trying to kind of like figure out like, okay, well, what games can I sell for 20? And made a special shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed tons, right? Like, because there was just so much good stuff. Really shocking. So people got good deals. I think they were happy.
Yeah. Happy people will be back next year, so it's worth it.
So. Yeah.
So you sold stuff for 20. You just said you didn't sell anything for more than 10.
He said
I had a special shelf.
Yeah.
So you lie like a fly with a boot in its eye.
Nothing was sold for more than $10 if you picked it up on your own. And we had a special impulse shelf, for 20 to 70 or 80. I think I sold the biggest thing.
Okay. So the first thing you said was you didn't sell anything for more than 10.
Okay.
Then
so
you got a special
when I say
shelf
anything,
for $20.
that means things that I did not pick out.
You're saying it was up to $70 or $80. What's your story? You like?
Well, should I tell you about the game I sold for $200?
What?
Well, can you guess which game I sold? You'll never guess.
Is that more than $10?
Yeah.
Queen's Gambit.
Because you said, and I quote, I didn't sell anything for more than $10.
I know, but like that's just so if I pull out like 50 games and sell 2,450 games for $10, you're killing me.
You sold a game for $200.
You can let me slide on it. Yeah, I sold.
Well,
I probably had some.
It wouldn't kill you if you just told the truth.
But if I say everything was like if I sold games for $50, would that would throw off the feeling of it because it really was almost every single thing in the room was $10.
So what did you sell for $200? Inquiring minds are dying to know. What?
18 OE.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I own a copy
for that in a heartbeat.
I own a copy of that.
Yeah, the person was very, very, very hesitant, so I had to sweeten it. I had to sweeten the deal.
What did you?
I had to throw in a $20 bag. What's that?
A $20 bag?
Yeah, we were selling our bags for $20.
What kind of bags?
Con carrier bags. They're giant bags that you can fill. You can put a person.
What I want to know is when you're going to be selling those sweet, sweet jerseys. We've already made up our list of what names we're going to put on the back of ours.
You guys already
you guys
Team Alaboom. You know, we can make a custom jersey, guys.
Mine's going to say Megalodon on the back of it. I think
we
can make custom jerseys.
What color should our?
We have to work on it. Did you see the game night jerseys?
I just see the game night jerseys.
You have a picture of it? Can you show us?
Let me see if I got a picture of myself.
In most of the pictures that Scott's in, Scott's wearing it.
Okay. That's okay. I can't get enough of my Scott here.
If you can't find them on Scott's feed, go to Rodney's feed because he's in all the pictures with Rodney.
No, Rodney didn't have one.
No, but
you're
wearing yours, and Rodney.
I was wearing mine.
Jumping next to Rodney showed how little vertical leap you have.
So I jumped as high as Rodney, except the picture. I jumped early. I was on my way down.
Sure.
Gravity. Well, I gave myself a headache after that. Like, have you guys jumped in the last 5 years? 5-10 years?
I have a 7-year-old. I jump
all
the
the
time.
Do it and see what happens to your body.
Well, no, I play basketball with my daughter a lot, so I jump.
Oh, okay.
So you got a picture, or what's going on here?
I'm looking.
What color should the Alaboom jersey be, though?
Red.
Red?
Pure red?
Red and black?
I was thinking more like of a blue.
Blue? I like blue.
The Board Game Geek is already blue.
Well, there's lots of shades of blue, man.
Oh, really?
Retweet Joe Thomas of the Browns if you'd like an NBA jersey.
I personally would like burgundy, but
did anybody see what he did? He came out the
RPG Geek is burgundy, isn't it?
He came out and said that if the Cavs lose the NBA Finals, he is going to give everybody an NBA jersey that retweets his tweet. And he's like a multi-millionaire.
So who's this that said this?
Joe Thomas, the just retired left tackle for the Cleveland Browns, probably the best left tackle ever to play the game.
Okay.
No.
Can you guys see this picture?
Oh, those are awesome.
I like it.
Those the game night Michelle is wearing.
That's cool.
I like it.
Yeah. Dude, look at that room. That's the room with the games.
That's nuts.
All
$200 left, right?
$200 a piece. Yeah, so there's game night jersey.
He made $87 million.
No, man, I'm super stoked. We're going over to the restaurant tomorrow night, or no, Friday night. The charity is awesome.
Nice.
It's a charity for juvenile offenders who have been put in jail, basically. And when they get out, they have like a 50% chance of going back in. So this really helps them. It lowers the price, or the price. It lowers the recidivism down to like 12%.
Awesome.
So
that
crazy.
Is a really big word.
Recidivism?
Percent.
Yes. So that's the founder right there, Chad Hauser. And he didn't understand it, right? He didn't understand board games, right? Like he had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes in and he's like, put his hand over his mouth. He's like, "Oh my God, I can't. I had no idea this existed." So crazy. So it was cool.
That's sweet.
And he has a good presentation. So I think that helped a little, talking about the charity. But yeah, very good. And that's from the people, it's not from me.
Well, if it wasn't for you, then it would be anonymous. Because that's what
it's still anonymous. It's still anonymous. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not sold. I don't think we're gonna take Burgundy. Burgundy.
I'll give you the link to make to the designer. You can. I think purple and white or yellow. What's the?
Not going to happen.
It's hard not to make an NFL jersey.
I'm so
'cause they've
confident
taken
my
all the
at
color
Cavs,
combinations.
if the at Warriors win the 2000, I'll buy anyone who retweets this a signed Stephen Curry 3 game worn
Yeah.
jersey.
Cavs are never going
It's
to win.
pretty crazy.
They're not going to win. Lance,
I really hope they do, but I also agree.
I want them to win because I love LeBron. Man crush on LeBron.
It would have to be an injury. It would. I mean, that's the only way.
Oh, what injury?
like
five of their
Curry
guys?
would have to Curry would have to break his leg. In the
or Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson or which guy has to break their leg? All of them?
One injury once. Well, he's going to win one game. He's going to win one game by himself
at home. Yeah.
So one
game
injury,
3.
one suspension.
They'll win game 3.
So I read. I watched a thing about the reasons how super teams get made in the NBA and why they aren't going anywhere. Because even though everybody complains about it, like the league is still very much making money, and people are very much like the popularity is just climbing.
Oh yeah, it's going up. I mean, it's good TV. I mean, what could you? It's just you're getting the best player in the world against the best team 4 years in a row.
So the thing about it, so like, and the whole reason it's like the old Larry Bird rule, like when they got rid of that and they basically made it so like, basically the way the rules work now, if people don't understand this, is that the max money is the same no matter what. So like it used to be like, okay, so Kevin Durant's coming out as a free agent, so there were teams that didn't have as much money available because they already had. You know what? But when they cap out the amount of money, so like he could like the max money that he could get was like 26 million or whatever. But every team could offer him that. So teams like teams like the Nuggets or whatever, they couldn't go to Kevin Durant and say, "Oh, well, we're going to give you 36 million." You know, they didn't have that option. So it was just like because of the way the collective bargaining agreement works is like. So when it doesn't come down to anything other than where can I go where I'm going to, make the biggest splash, win championships, and get more endorsements and this, that, and the other thing. But everybody complains about it, but the NBA is doing bank, so it's not going to change. And yeah, it is really dumb that 4 years in a row it's the same two teams.
Why?
Well, I mean, yeah. I would kind of blame Danny Ainge of the Boston Celtics because I mean before when he got the big three with Garnett and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, you normally had big twos, Shaq and Kobe and Scotty and
Did
Michael.
You guys see the stat that the same 6 players have been in the past 25 years of NBA Finals?
Yeah,
crazy.
And like Shaq is still he's played with everyone in like the last 30 NBA Finals. Something ridiculous like that. He's been a co-teammate with someone in each one of them.
Yeah, it's dumb, but
here's the thing: no one would watch
it just makes it worth tanking.
No one
would
would care.
Makes it worth tanking. What's up?
If the Jazz or the Celtics would have got in, nobody would have watched that. It would have been like when the Pistons and the Spurs got in, and it was great basketball, but it was
2004 when it was Spurs versus Nets. And it was like the worst ratings of all time.
Yeah.
Like and nobody cared. Well, even when the Spurs were winning like every year, people didn't care because it was so boring. It was like, I'm Tim Duncan. Watch me hit another 14-foot, a 14-foot turnaround bank shot.
But back then too, the leagues themselves were so lopsided. It was like half of the Western Conference was better than every team that was 2 or lower in the Eastern Conference.
It's still that way.
And it's still that way.
Dallas to the East. Please let us move.
Yeah, but it was like the Bulls and everybody else at that point.
But I will say it's because of LeBron. I mean, why would you stay in the East if you have no chance of winning? He's destroyed every single team the last 5 to 10 years in the East, at least.
Yeah, but if the Celtics would have had their 2 best players that they didn't have, they would have beaten the Cavs.
Well, if my aunt had a penis, he'd be
You
my
guys watch that?
Okay, wait, hold on. Back the fuck up here, dickhead. So if LeBron James does not play, the Cavs still win?
Oh, hell no.
Well, but that's the point.
Well,
Their two best players, not one, two best players did not play in the playoffs, and they made it to Game 7.
and here's the thing: I think you're discounting the flow of that team. I think having Kyrie Irving completely changes the makeup of that team. Having Gordon Hayward especially completely changes the makeup of that team, and they're not playing those young stars as much as they do, and it's a different team. I mean, I can't say that I completely disagree, but I don't think it would be a sure thing because it would be a different team.
Celtics were the number 2 and the Cavs were the number 4 going in.
Yes.
So
that doesn't mean anything, though. LeBron notoriously doesn't give a shit about the regulars.
You would sit there and go, "Oh, if Peyton Manning was in there, they would have won."
What?
John Elway was in there. They definitely would have won.
Yeah, John Elway would have won. I'm just saying it would be a completely different team with Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward in there.
And it wouldn't have gone 7.
No, I think Cavs would have finished them off in 6.
No, Cavs wouldn't have finished them over there.
So right now in Vegas, you have to bet $1,000 to win 100 on the Golden State. Like that's where the money line is.
Oh yeah.
And it's moving down because people are going there and betting thousands.
What are the odds on the Cavs winning?
It was like right now $100 earns you $650. Right.
Oh,
I actually had a talk with my coworker about that.
The house and go for it.
Well, no.
You're so sure.
No, I'm
the best player ever.
I want them to. I think he is the best player ever. But no,
10 years from now, when the next.
First of all,
I saw Michael Jordan, and I appreciate Michael Jordan. I think he's amazing. I think he's the second best ever.
But the point is, somebody new comes along all the time.
How old are you, Forrest?
I'm 32.
Okay.
I've been watching basketball since I was
I'm not saying you haven't watched basketball a lot, but if you watched Jordan in the 80s, I mean like really watched.
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't get to. I saw 90s.
Yeah, so Jordan in the 80s like made LeBron if you had it would just yes, LeBron is good, but he's not in Jordan's class.
See, here's the thing. There's so many metrics that disagree with that, and one-on-one, LeBron would crush him. Because he's just so much bigger and so much stronger. I mean, that if you're talking one-on-one, if you're talking about the 6-0, there's nothing you can do about that.
No, but you can't compare one-on-one because metrics are different because.
Then what do you compare?
And metrics are different because they don't play defense like they used to either.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
LeBron doesn't play any defense.
Yeah,
but they're also a lot more skilled.
And Jordan got all defensive like every year.
He did.
Yes, because he was an amazing defender, and he actually, I mean, and I did not like Jordan. I did not like the Bulls. I mean, I was not, but I mean, he literally was the best player to ever play the game.
Here's my biggest argument against that. Like, you really have to pinpoint what you would argue about with that, but it's not that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. I just don't see that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron. Like, you watch LeBron play, and he's absolutely incredible. Even if you hate the guy because you think he's an asshole.
Even on defense?
When he plays defense, yes.
Okay, but
wait. His idea of defense is the guy's coming right at me. Let me not stick it out of the way. That's 90% of his defense.
That's because he has to save his energy because he carries his team on his back.
Yeah, well, Jordan carried the Bulls on his back.
Whoa. Scottie Pippen's the top. Scottie Pippen
didn't show up. When did Scottie Pippen get drafted?
What does that matter?
Because
Scottie Pippen got to a Western Conference final without Jordan.
You do realize that Jordan played many years without Pippen, right?
Here's my biggest thing with Jordan.
Well, don't answer my question. Don't answer.
Yeah, but he didn't win a championship without Pippen.
Without him. Sorry,
he didn't win a championship without Pippen.
But he dragged. He played up and down defense, offense, and dragged the Bulls to a winning record and made it getting into the playoffs each and every year. Yes.
And how many times did he get bounced in the first round? LeBron's never done that. LeBron's been to 8 straight finals. Jordan only got to 6.
the NBA now is nothing compared to what it was.
They're much
NBA,
more skilled.
Well, the refs don't call shit anymore.
They do not.
They do not.
No, they do. They just call it on the guys who would make the biggest money.
Yes. The NBA has carefully crafted itself into exactly what the fans want to see and nothing less. The league is crooked. And it's like, and people want to say that Tim Donaghy was the only ref that was in on bullshit.
Oh, put on your tinfoil hats.
There's no tinfoil. There's no tinfoil on this.
I like the fact that Forrest is questioning a conspiracy that someone else.
Here's the biggest thing. I think in about 10 to 15 years, there's not going to be as much Michael support, because all the stuff that LeBron has done wrong now is going to get glossed over, and we're going to focus on the numbers. He's going to be a top 10 in everything. He's going to be top 10 in every single statistical category there is.
But okay. So does that mean then that, like, because Barry Bonds is
that's Apple? Come on.
No. It's because it's a different. Baseball had a completely different world, like during the late '90s. Now it wasn't because of roids and whatever. Fine, whatever. But the thing is that you had guys jacking 50, 60, 70 home runs. And, like, you look at the Barry Bonds stats of what he did, and it's just like, there's a great video. It's like, what if Barry Bonds didn't have a bat when he went for his entire career? And it's a great video talking about how he still would have been outproduced, like, so many different players, even without a bat. So it was a different world. Yes, there's a case that's like, how do you compare? You can't really compare, because LeBron is a product of this NBA where you don't have to play defense. This NBA where the same four freaking teams make it to the playoffs, like make it to the finals in 4 different years. I mean, where the league wants that to happen. As much as anybody wants to complain, oh, this is boring and it's stupid, they're happy because it's becoming more and more popular because of the narrative of it. And compared to the NBA in the 80s, it's where like guys were beating the piss out of each other. Like go watch some of those Bill Laimbeer games.
And how many championships did Michael win in the 80s?
I'd have to go ahead and look. But my point is
zero. It's zero.
Okay, but you go back and look. But was he still performing better than anybody else in the league? Yes.
Yes.
And
here's my biggest counter argument. Michael Jordan did not have to do everything. He did not have to assist. He did not have to rebound. They're completely different players, their play style, because LeBron is more like a Swiss Army knife. And the other big thing is that Michael Jordan quit. Like, that's the one thing that pisses me off that nobody mentions more. He quit, and he quit twice. He quit on basketball twice in his career.
Well, the first time was because he got caught gambling, and they
allegedly, yeah. But still, he quit.
No, he did. He got caught gambling. Whether or not it's true or not, I have talked. I mean, this sounds dumb, and it's like it's completely apocryphal, evidence. But there are, when I go to Vegas and I hang out with my brother, I have talked to people that are connected, and we'll just leave it at that. That are bookies and the people that like the betting and things like that. And it is the worst kept secret in the world that he was betting on basketball and that he was shaving points, and he was doing it because he owed thousands. He was a degenerate gambler. Like he would go and he would lose hundreds of thousands of dollars on a skins golf game, and to pay it off, he would skim points. So and it's just, and they caught him, and you can't. He was the face of the league. So they basically said, you're going to quit and retire and go play baseball for a while, and that's going to be your punishment. If that happened, that's a real life thing. I mean, is there any proof of it? Is there any smoking gun? No. Do I believe it? Totally. So, yes, he quit during his prime, but that was what he had to do, so he didn't tarnish his legacy.
Either way, we're splitting hairs. They're both amazing.
Well,
I mean,
you go watch the videos. Go watch the videos of LeBron getting out of the way of the people, like actually like.
I'll put it like
driving
this.
back.
What if somehow he ran off 3 more championships? Would that change your mind? And that's that answer. And yeah, there you go. What do you think about that?
It's
not going to happen.
What if
run off Jordan, 3 more and stay in Cleveland and do it?
Yeah. Then maybe. But the thing is that,
maybe.
Like, Jordan would never move out of the way of a guy, and let him go run to the basket. I mean,
that's because Jordan didn't have to rebound and assist and carry his whole team.
Well, whatever. It's just, and the thing is that it's just in this day and age, you don't have to carry your entire team. But the thing is that
what his team.
You don't think that the refs are giving him the like. It's like, when was the last time?
Star treatment, he definitely does. But you don't think Michael did?
Hey, wait. Can I ask you a question? There.
Who are you asking?
Forrest.
Okay.
So did you watch Game 7
against Boston?
Yeah. So I was shocked when they called the 4th foul on LeBron, and then he did the same exact thing 4 more times in the next 2 minutes, and nobody called anything. They purposely went and ran the same play at him to get the foul called, to get him the 5th foul, and not one whistle blew. It's easy when they're giving you the calls, when you're getting the breaks.
They've been doing that. They did that with Michael, too. You can't
Michael got the 3rd step. I'll give you that. And, Michael never traveled.
Well, now they got like the 4th.
Allen Iverson never traveled.
No.
Missed the 2-step.
But yeah, I mean, anyway, we're just, like you said, we're splitting hairs. You believe what you want to believe. I believe what I want to believe, and I'm right and you're wrong.
I believe that basketball sucks. So
I believe with that. I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
I can't stand watching it anymore. I used to like watching it, but it just drives me crazy.
Of the playoffs when it's LeBron, pretty much. I took my kid to see him, and I realized he's a shooting star. He's one of the 4.
Not to get political here.
Yeah, do it. Down with Mitt Romney. Fuck him. You're talking about Mitt Romney, right?
No, I'm not talking about. What did he do? Did he do something dumb too now?
No. I just like.
He's not Bernie. Bernie carried the entire Democratic Party on his back.
He
Bernie's
did.
thinking about rerunning, by the way.
Bernie never played defense.
You're going to hear a lot more Bernie if he ends up doing that. I think he's going to announce it after 2018.
No chance.
That's what they said about Trump, my friend. That's what they said about Trump.
No, he's not going to rerun. That's why I said no chance.
How old is he?
I think he's 2 years older than Trump. He's like
47.
But he's
a spry 47.
So the NFL, the owners,
XFL.
They make their decision. Okay, which fine. I'm not here to talk about that because whatever, they made the decision. The players' union will make up their mind on whether or not they want to fight it and do whatever. Who cares? Well, whatever. I'm not here to debate that with anyone. That's that one. So a lot of people are like saying, I'm not gonna give them another penny of my money until they fix this or change this mentality or whatever like that. And that's fine. And I respect that, and that's cool. I mean, people feel strongly about it and they should, and that's, but here's my problem is that the NFL is so freaking crooked and awful. They knew about concussions and the problems of concussions for years, and they just pretended it didn't exist and wanted, like, it was like the bad news, and I am just as culpable. It's like I'm like, this is awful. These guys are like killing themselves to play the game, but I'm the one tuning in and I'm watching, and as much as like you don't want to like cheer on like a really big hit, that's pretty standard, is that like you when you see the huge hit to the guy, you're like, oh, look at that. I mean, I remember when like Joe Flacco he got knocked out of the game last year, and like he like literally looked like a rag doll, and you're just like, oh my gosh. And then when you see it, then later you're like, oh God, why am I cheering for that? You're just like, that's
that
awful.
was us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Dolphins did that.
So, but here's the deal. So it's just like, this is the stuff that bugs me, is that, like, okay, so people are all incensed because, and once again, it's fine that this bothers you, and it's fine but it's like, oh, well, why weren't you upset that, like, why weren't you like saying I'm not going to watch football anymore when, like, you realized the league was basically saying, oh, well, go out and kill yourselves for us. Nobody, and that's the stuff that bugs me, is that it's like,
concussions are political, though. I mean,
well, I understand that, but I mean, but that's like people, like, literally putting their lives at risk, so we can cheer them on and hope our team goes to the Super Bowl.
They do it for the money. They take that risk on in order to make the millions of dollars in the contracts.
And that's fine. And that's fine. But I mean, and the same thing is like, nobody's making, and so, but that's the argument, is like, well, nobody's making you play the game. You can turn around and walk away, and that happens every year. Like, somebody will say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to kill myself. And we're like, oh, well, gotta respect that. They're making this decision.
Barry Sanders.
Yeah, exactly. But like, if you say to somebody, it's like, well, you know what? If they don't want to play for a league that says that they can't protest, well, they can quit. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, that's bullshit. It's like,
but the thing about it that drives me crazy about it is this is a league that has some of the most ridiculous rules and fines for things that they've had in place for years. Jake Plummer got fined $5,000 a game for wearing Tillman's number on his helmet after the 1 week that they were supposed to honor him.
Jake the Snake, baby.
It. And he said, you're going to fine me $5,000? Fine. Here's $5,000. I'll come by and I'll give you a check next week.
He also got fined for flipping off our fans once, which was amazing.
But I'm saying they have all of these rules of what you can have on your helmet, what size your socks can be, what kind of shoes you can have. These are all things they have in play. The one thing about this new rule that they put in place with this is they basically got rid of one of their old rules, which was everybody had to be on the field for the national anthem. And now they said...
Which Marshawn Lynch never follow.
Well, I'm saying, but now the thing is, during the national anthem, if you were on the field, you have to stand. If you do not want to be, if you don't want to stand, you don't have to be on the field. There's no fine for not coming out.
Yeah, I think it's much ado about nothing. And I also want to just point it out to everybody who may be watching that there is a meme going around, or whatever it's called, that shows Tim Tebow, my boy. It says Tim Tebow took a knee to against abortion during the national anthem. That is completely false. That's just him praying. But I saw that posted like 6 times this last week. Yeah, I agree.
Your boy?
No, it's a picture of him Tebowing, but they posted, oh, people forget that Tim Tebow took a knee.
People are idiots.
Yeah.
All these people who are okay. This friggin' thing with Roseanne. All right.
Okay.
You know what?
Here we go.
This is the stupidity on both sides of the equation.
Before you go, I gotta go.
Oh, go. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
We're getting political. Scott's got to leave.
No, there's something else.
He doesn't want the BGG stocks to go down.
Yeah,
no, but
no problem. All right, bye.
Bye, Scott.
See you, Scott.
No, so here's when any of this stupid shit happens, we deal with all of the same stupid responses from people. Whether you are a Donald Trump supporter, not a Donald Trump supporter, what the woman did is wrong. And she should be fired for it. End of story. Just same thing is if that same statement that was made by her was made by someone who is a stout Hillary Clinton supporter. They should be fired for that too. It has nothing to do with who the friggin' you're aligned with. It's not a victory for liberals. It's not a victory for whoever. And this is the friggin' bullshit. And it's like, oh, people are getting upset, and they're like, oh, you're getting upset that they canceled Roseanne, but you're not upset when the people are kneeling down. I was like, what the hell are you even talking about? You're talking about two different things. And people are like, oh, her First Amendment right. I'm like, you don't even know what the fucking First Amendment means. The First Amendment means that you can say shit about the government and they won't come and throw you in jail. That's all it means. You can stand in front of the White House and go, fuck Bill Clinton, fuck George Bush, fuck Donald Trump. And they'll go, hey, could you please leave? But they're not going to, they can't throw you in jail.
This is the third time this week, Mr.
And then all these people who are talking about the not letting people take a knee during the national anthem. Regardless of what you think is, they're looking for this. You know what? If you think that people who work for somebody that get to say whatever they want or do whatever they want, regardless of what the rule is at the time, because it's a First Amendment right, will you please hire me? Because I will make sure that staff meetings are the most friggin' amazing thing you've ever seen in your life. Because I'll just sit there and just fucking curse at everybody. And go, that's my First Amendment right. You can't fire me. You can't fine me for that.
It seems.
But it's everything. I'm so fucking sick of this. It's because she's a Trump supporter. No, she's a fucking asshole. That's why she got fired. And in all reality, she got fired more so because before sponsors started pulling out their commercials and whatnot from it, they just said, you know what? That's it. It's 6 of one, half dozen of another. Yes, she's an asshole. She's got to go. But if the sponsors are going to go too, you got to think of it that way. We sit there and everyone's got to compartmentalize everything into this or that with everything. And it's fucking annoying as all hell.
I believe her, though, that it was Ambien. That stuff will mess you up. No, I'm serious. I used to take it. And if you don't go to sleep, you'll start hallucinating, man. It's crazy stuff. My buddy and I used to take it, and we'd see how long we could stay up before we passed out, and you just start tripping like crazy. So because it's such a bizarre statement. Like, it's such a bizarre insult that you would attack this.
What was the exact wording of it again?
Planet of the Apes meets. I don't know. It was such a bizarre.
Meets the Nation of Islam.
Yeah, such a bizarre insult. So I wholeheartedly believe that she was all cracked out on Ambien, couldn't get to sleep.
I believe she was all hopped up on being an asshole.
Have you tried Ambien before, Anthony?
No, she's high on. Michael Jackson took a whole bunch of Ambien. You didn't see him saying stupid shit on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's a different time, though, Anthony. You know that. He's not under the microscope as much as a celebrity is now. Granted, he was under the microscope like crazy, but it's even more now.
Well, it's because he had sex with kids.
Whoa!
I didn't know Ambien would make you do that.
Oh my God.
It was the Ambien.
I'm just saying, Ambien's a hell of a drug. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, apparently it lets you put Nicolas Cage posters on your wall.
No, the Ambien made you put Notebook on your wall.
That was a calculated decision.
And buy 800 bags of Doritos.
That was also a calculated decision. Every decision I make is calculated.
Calculated.
Calculated. I can't say the word.
Yeah, I don't know.
I will appreciate when these things happen if someone makes a meme or something that's actually funny. I posted one today. It's a picture of Christopher Plummer with the Roseanne logo underneath it. That's all I posted. No comment. And I'm like, I'm waiting for the ABC announcement. Because that's funny.
I just love the fact that Ambien came out and said something. It was like, yeah, Ambien doesn't make you racist. I like the fact they actually came out and said that.
You have to come out and say that. That's the world we live in, where Ambien does not turn you into a racist.
That is not a side effect of Ambien.
And you know, SNL is going to be doing a thing on it.
Oh, yeah.
Commercial for Ambien.
Oh, that'll be good.
And it's like, if you suddenly tweet racial and insensitive things, please contact your doctor.
I honestly think this is a huge opportunity for somebody else to pick Roseanne up, and just put her in a far right Trump-centric, pro-Trump show. Like, if I were a TV network, I would totally consider doing that, because you could get huge ratings just off this huge scandal.
Yeah, but why would you want to do that? This is not the kind of scandal. No, but this is not the kind of scandal that you profit from.
I disagree. I think you'd have a lot of people who would support the show just because of the scandal. I really do. I think it's the same people who want to throw it.
Okay, but here's the thing, Forrest. It does not matter if 6 billion people want to watch the show if nobody wants to buy commercials on it.
And I don't think that would be the case. I think controversy sells, and I think you'd have people buying the ad space.
So who's buying the ad space?
KKK?
NFL?
Who's buying the ad space?
I don't know.
That's okay. I'm talking about something that's totally different. People freaking out over it. So they canceled The Expanse.
Oh, that sucks.
And then all these people. Oh, don't wait. There's a happy ending.
It got picked up, didn't it?
Yeah,
by Amazon.
So they canceled The Expanse, and all the people who were watching, the fans over there, don't cancel it, blah. And then all the people who are on the show start this shaking a tin cup thing on social media. Go, so save the show. And I sat there and said, well, you know what? The show costs a lot of money to make. Why don't you work for scale? It'll cost a lot less to make the show if everyone works for scale. That ain't going to happen. But, feel bad for us. Well, yeah, your show costs too much money to make. You can't make enough money back in commercial sales for what the show costs. That's why we're canceling it. We don't say it's a bad show. We don't say there's a fan base. But at the end of the day, we're not making as much money on the show. And that's the thing people I just don't think understand at all.
I had a buddy who I forget what it was, but somebody my brother is my older brother drives me crazy in a lot of ways. But he knows most of my friends, just through me and stuff like that. And I've got a couple of friends who are in their 40s who still live with their parents. And my brother dropped a 20-ton nuke. I don't know if it's on social media. I forget what it was. My brother posted something about I forget what it was, but it was just something about happiness is it had a lot to do with
earning power and things like this and stuff like that. And my buddy dropped, well, is the only thing that matters money? And he's like, says the 44-year-old man who lives in his parents' basement. It's just like, 20-ton nuke just dropped on the altruistic guy. I felt bad for my friend at that moment. I was just kind of like, but you kind of bring it on yourself. But still, I did feel bad for this much.
Well, on that note, I'm going to bed. I'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Did you take some Ambien?
Yeah.
Hey, where are we gonna go eat? What are we gonna go do?
What?
No, you're not gonna be at Origins though. Never mind.
Nope.
I'm an idiot.
Go to Melts for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go to Melts, but maybe I'll see.
If you go to Melts, get the fried chicken and macaroni and cheese grilled cheese sandwich. It is to die for.
Amazing.
Literally.
Fried chicken and macaroni and cheese sandwich.
It is a boneless chicken breast, fried chicken breast, with 2 1-inch thick macaroni and cheese patties on each side, and then the crust is a grilled cheese sandwich on each end.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I can barely finish half of one, and I don't even eat the fries, and I don't even eat all the grilled cheese. It's just too much, but it is awesome. It is awesome. But
challenge accepted.
All right. On that note, I will see you all in 2 weeks. Actually, I guess 3, because you guys will be at Origins the week I get back from my trade show next week. So unless you're filming live from Columbus, I'll see you guys in 3 weeks.
Yeah, maybe we will. Who knows? All right. Take care, brother.
All right, man. See you guys. Bye.
Later, Pete.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to. Keith wants to go to Melts. I'm not. I don't know. I'm just. Sometimes those. There's a burger joint called Stickies here in town that has what?
I was gonna finish the sentence for you. I'll be good.
No. So it's it has 2 grilled cheese sandwiches as the bun, and it's like it's like a half-pound patty and 4 types of cheese and 8 strips of bacon. It's a heart attack burger basically.
Angioplasty on the side.
Yeah, a little angioplasty.
You get a Groupon for an angioplasty.
Yeah, Groupon. Can I get the Groupon? Yeah. So, I don't know. I just, yeah, but this is just also where I've just kind of, I've reached a point now with like on most discussions or anything even close to being political, I just stay out now. I can't handle, and it sounds bad, but I mean, I can't handle the extreme on either side, and
I can't handle the emotion before logic thing. Everyone's quick with, they see something and right away they're posting it and talking about it. I'm like, it's not real. Didn't happen. Check what you're saying before, because someone took a picture and thought it was funny and wrote something, and all of a sudden now everyone is, is going around saying, "Oh, look, but so and so did this." Why? And it's like it's not the same thing. And it didn't happen. There was a picture. Someone had a picture today that was going around of Whoopi Goldberg wearing a shirt where it says "Make America Great Again," and it's Donald Trump shooting himself in the head. And
she really wore that shirt, man. She's
not wearing the shirt. Someone photoshopped it. Someone photoshopped it, and I'm like,
I don't believe that.
There's actually had this Snopes article on it. That's how like ridiculous it is. But like this is the stuff people do. You just sit there and go, okay, how can I get people riled up about it? Oh, let me say it's all about this. Like whatever. Use your freaking head.
See, I'm really bad. I like to troll people. Like I really enjoy I love getting into political conversations with people, especially when they're just so adamant about stuff and then just trolling them. Like normally, my friends are pretty liberal for the most part. I live in Indiana, so I have a lot of not liberal friends. But when they first
that is a horrible thing to do, just so you know.
Oh, I love it. I like when they start talking really negative about Donald Trump, and then I'll just be like, I'll like throw in, be like, oh man, but what he did that one thing this last week. He's been putting a lot of money towards NASA. I like to slowly defend him, and then everybody just sort of feels like really awkward, and they just stop talking about it.
No, they don't.
So they do.
Try
it. I'm telling you, Lance, try it. People freak out as soon as they smell a Trump logo.
I think I've said it on here. Donald Trump could announce that he has found the cure to cancer tomorrow, and people would still fucking hate his guts and say,
he just did it to make the money, man. He's just did it for money. No, I agree. I just love it. I personally really enjoy it. I like the fact that I have both sides on my Facebook wall, and I get to sift through it and find.
There was a whole thread on Twitter the other day that I read. It was really interesting. After all of the that they lost 1,500 kids in the immigration system.
Oh, okay.
And everyone made it sound like we literally lost them. Like we put them somewhere. like they were car keys and we couldn't find them. And so everyone was like tweeting all this stuff, and then they're showing pictures of others. And then so this immigration lawyer gets on Twitter who basically says, listen, this is not a bad thing. It just means that they cannot locate where they are right now. They were put with a sponsor family, and either we can't get a hold of the sponsor family, they're not calling us back, and when we go by wherever the residence was, they're not there. But this is not a bad thing if you're all for DACA, because it means that if they don't know where they are, they cannot take those kids and deport them.
Oh, it's good.
So all it means is they have no contact with them. It doesn't mean they lost them or they discarded them somewhere or they just threw them out in the street and let them wander.
You know where those 1,500 kids went, Larry? I swear they were behind the van over there. Like they
were just here a minute ago on the counter. Did you check the top of your head? Who used the kids last?
Who used the kids last?
But like people do that and they put these things out, and I'm like, okay, can you just like actually read the article and read the story before we look at the headline and we all jump to conclusions of what this means? Because that's how they sell newspapers. That's how they get you to click on articles, is they sensationalize and they use clever wording of things.
I always love the ones that say, star of show or whatever, found dead. And it was like, oh, well, they were in 4 episodes of, just
like literally, if you like, this was like the 60s and Dick Cavett was on your network and you fired him for whatever reason, or you got rid of his show, the headline would be network executive cuts off dick.
Oh, that's good.
And people would be going, can you believe this guy cut off his own dick?
No, because I read the article.
Well, that's the point.
I had to Google who Dick Cavett was. He's worth $100 million. Good for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, people just drive me crazy, and I think they do it on purpose. I think there's a lot of people that want to just drive me personally crazy. There are people I have, for the first time ever in my life, I have actually just unfollowed people on Facebook. I never did that before. I was like, well, I can put up with anybody.
No, I do it all the time.
I
do it a lot on their birthdays too.
Oh,
like I'll literally, the notification will come up like, it's Forrest Bauer, Lance Meister, and Jim Smith's birthday, and I'm like, who the fuck is Jim Smith? And I go and look, and I'm like, oh no, delete them. Goodbye, unfriend.
That's actually a good way to do it.
Yeah, happy birthday. You have one less friend.
Happy birthday, you have one less friend.
Cheery news. You see Walmart came out and said they're going to pay for their employees to go to college.
Oh, speaking of Walmart and their employees, someone today on Facebook had put this thing out about why are we not paying the people in Walmart more money and blah blah blah, and I said because they don't have to, because if those people left, there will be 20 more people right behind them to come fill their position. As if you fail to realize the fact that if people stop working, if people stop taking the jobs for the minimum wage, then you have to pay people more money to do those jobs.
No, they don't.
And then the other one about, oh, look, we need to hire people, not put in these automatic. I'm not paying to check myself out. I'm like, damn straight, I'll check myself out.
Well, isn't that like you're making so they don't have to hire more people then, right?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. But you're still not moving any. You're not hiring more people. You're just making people wait longer. Well, that's like the thing I said here before. Like they fought for food service workers to get paid $15 an hour at McDonald's. And then they went and put all teller machine cashiers in.
Well,
Said, yes, we will pay you the $15 an hour since you forced our hand. Instead of the $7.50 you were getting, or whatever it was before, now you're getting 15, but half of you are fired. It's kind of like that old SNL sketch with John Lovitz when he's the devil in the People's Court.
Dun-dun-dun.
And he's like, he makes a deal. Everyone makes a deal with the devil, and he makes her the best hairdresser, but she's so good that no one ever has to come back again. Well, maybe next time you should have got it in writing. I had it in writing. You watching at home, look into my eyes.
John Lovitz.
Mr. Mephistopheles, you may rule the nether region, but I run this courtroom.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. That is a classic one.
I just love the way he just says it. Mr. Mephistopheles.
The People's Court. Now that was a good idea for a show, right? I don't know. I remember,
but it's the law, and it's like so stupid now.
Well, it used to be like real things, and like you'd watch it, and you'd be like, oh, okay, this is kind of neat or whatever, and you'd watch them, and then like now it's like everything's got to be a crazy, a case. It was before. It was always like normal stuff. It's like
if you want to watch interesting courtroom drama, I don't know if they show them on YouTube. I'm sure they do. You have to go and look up the old divorce court show that used to be on TV.
Oh, and then there were actors and actresses or whatever for the roles, and they were like, but they were the actual cases.
I remember actual cases, yes.
But they made them.
It looked like an actual regular court TV show, like People's Court, but they were actors playing the. Like they have a newer version of it, but like the original divorce court, that is some interesting television there.
Just a nutball show. Like, oh, these aren't the real cases, but we'll come up with a way to, broadcast this. Yeah, I remember that. Those were weird. Those were very weird. But now there's it seems like there's a court case thing for everything now, like a court drama type of thing.
Everyone has to have one. It's one of the things. Oh, well, now we have Judge Judy and Judge Mathis and what would you call it? Do you remember when it was Mills Lane?
Yes, Judge Mills Lane. Let's get it on. His little bit of fame doing the Tyson bout. I remember that.
And then doing all the MTV
Celebrity
Deathmatch.
That's right. Judge Mills Lane. He cashed in. Good for him.
Oh yeah, Kabuki says Ed Koch did People's Court for a while.
Yeah, I remember that. And he wasn't even a judge. They were just like, "Oh, you were."
Neither is Mills Lane.
Wasn't he though? I thought he was.
He may have been at one point been ordained or whatever that is, but I don't think he actually was.
I think he was. I think Mills Lane actually was a judge at some point.
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, that's easy enough to Google. But I do remember when Ed Koch took over.
Mills B. Lane is an American former boxing referee and professional boxer, a 2-term Washoe County, Nevada District Court judge.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's 80 years old.
Still with us.
Yes, he is. God bless.
God bless.
Let's get it on.
When he I remember reading the quote from him. They asked him, it's like when he when he disqualified Tyson for biting Holyfield. Like he like Tyson said something, and like he said like he's just like, let's, it's like, I'm ready to go, and he's like, bullshit, you bit him, you're disqualified. Just flat out told Tyson, no, you fucking cheated, you're done.
Yeah, well, the thing was, he wasn't even supposed to be the ref for that fight.
I think I read that back in the day.
Yeah, Mitch Halpern was supposed to be the ref, but Tyson's camp protested, so they brought Lane in.
He wasn't even supposed to be there that day. Not even supposed to be here today.
And then less than 3 weeks later, Lane refereed a match between Lennox Lewis and Henry Akinwande, and that contest also ended in disqualification.
For like what? Just somebody.
It just said ended when Akinwande used illegal tactics to ignore Lane's repeated orders to stop.
Well, he's a man of the people. Good for him. I don't know. But that just goes to show you once again how TV nowadays sucks. I can't stand TV. Like I don't own cable. I haven't watched any normal TV in so long, and I'm kind of glad I don't.
Wow. Hey, here's some interesting information about Mills Lane.
Jesus, what are we going to go down the rabbit hole of Wikipedia?
No, he had 11 professional fights as a boxer.
He was 0-11 with 10 knockouts.
His record, 10-1. He lost his first fight and then won every fight after that.
Well, Battling Mills Lane.
5 knockouts. 3 of them were KOs.
Well,
5 decisions. 4 of those unanimous. 1 loss.
That's something I've never really understood, boxing. I just, the idea that like a sport where we're going to put 2 people in this little spot here and we're going to watch them beat the heck out of each other. Then we're going to decide who did the best job.
Kind of a weird concept.
Just. Hey. I mean, I guess I get it, but, it seems. Do you guys ever see those like clips of like the chess boxing?
Yes.
The guys that would like beat the crap out of each other and then go play chess, and then like they go beat the crap out of each other some more and then play chess. It was just like, what?
Yes. The best part of that entire video is the guy explaining the rules. A competitor is eliminated if he is either checkmated or knocked out.
I just like seeing the guys that are all beaten up and bruised and stuff, and they're trying to play chess.
And then they stop, they stop the chess match to fight, and the guys come in and pick up the board and carry it out of the ring.
Yeah. Oh, no, don't move anything. Just it was a strange dichotomy, kind of at the same level of like biathlon, which I understand why the biathlon is difficult, is because like you're cross country skiing and then you're shooting your target gun. The fact that your heart rate's up and you're like it's tough to like settle down and be able to aim. So I get the premise behind it and why it's difficult, but it still was so we're gonna combine shooting a gun and cross country skiing. That's gonna be my sport. Just seems like they're kind of out of place with each other. What James Bond was that where he gets chased by the biathlon guy shooting at him? You remember?
It's one of the Roger Moore ones.
Yeah, it's a Roger Moore one.
Is it Spy Who Loved Me?
Might have been. I don't know. It's been a while.
Kabuki probably knows. Let me check the chat. Let's give her a minute to get the.
Good old Kabuki. We can rely on her.
All right. Since you brought up the biathlon, so here's an article on the 10 weirdest Olympic sports of all time. Number 10, swimming obstacle race.
That sounds cool.
It only made the cut once in the 1900 Summer Games in Paris.
Whoa! Wonder if they got any video on that. I'd like to see who won.
Swimmers had to climb over a pole, then they had to make their way over a row of boats, and as the final obstacle, the competitors had to swim under another row of boats before crossing the finish line. And then number 9, tug of war.
Yep, tug of war used to be a thing.
1900, 1904, 1908, 1912, and 1920 games.
Apparently, they thought it was crap in 1916, but then they're like, we got to bring it back. People
number 8, the tandem bicycle sprint. Oh, and what's funny about this is it debuted in 1906, and the last time it was run, it's 1972. So it had quite a run there for a while. Number 7, club swinging. Club swingers.
Captain Caveman.
Club swingers.
Captain Caveman.
Club swingers whirled around bowling pin-shaped clubs quickly around their bodies and head with routines similar to those of modern-day rhythmic gymnastics. Number 6, race walking.
What?
Race walking, just walking very fast.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I mean, like the speed walking stuff.
Yeah.
How do they delineate between a speed walk and a run? Like, what?
You have to have 1 foot on the ground at all times. Because when you run, you leave, your body leaves the ground.
Makes sense.
Number 5 is my favorite. Solo synchronized swimming.
What?
Wasn't there like a horse diving one or something?
Wait, hold on. Solo synchronized swimming. Solo swimming was a sport in the 84, 88, and 92 games. How do you synchronize with yourself?
The music.
Number 4, pistol dueling.
That needs to make a comeback.
It only happened once in the 1906 games in Athens and during the 1912 Stockholm games. So it happened twice.
So people died? Like,
no, I don't think
rather than having competitors fire pistols at each other, though, competitors shot at frock coat adorned mannequins with targets painted on its chest.
Oh, okay.
Number 3, rope climbing. Climbers had to shimmy up a 14-meter-long rope, and they were judged based on time and style. Number 2, plunge for distance. Oh, so the event basically consists of swimmers diving into the pool and staying motionless in the water for 1 minute. The divers weren't allowed to propel themselves while in the water. Whoever went the furthest through the water won the event. And number 1, live pigeon shooting.
Live, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they actually were killing animals.
A total of 3. It only happened once in the 1900 Summer Games in Paris. And Belgian Leon de Lunden won the gold medal with 21 downed birds. A total of 300 birds were killed during the event. There you go.
Let's take a moment to honor their sacrifice.
For our enjoyment. No, for your eyes only. Kabuki.
For your eyes only.
All right, I gotta get to bed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I suppose we should all go to bed. We should all get some sleep, right? Rest up for our. It is midnight.
I have a pigeon shooting training tomorrow.
I got a duel.
Yeah, what?
A duel. Got a duel.
What's the line from the Dear Departed, Charlie Murphy? And he said, back in the day, even when slapping was cool, it meant there was a duel. It meant somebody was going in the ground. What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
That sucks. He died. He was funny.
Charlie Murphy was a funny man. Charlie Murphy's Hollywood Stories. Charlie Murphy. Yeah, it was like weird, like kidney failure or something like that.
Well, he was sick for a while.
Yeah.
All right.
Night Forest.
Later, Forrest.
I suppose. The sleep man calls. Yeah. Kids are almost out of school. That'd be nice. Be able to see them more often. Your kid's almost out of school?
Yeah, we got another month.
Really?
Almost a month.
That's weird.
Well, we start late. And they give them time off in between.
Gotcha. Well, good for you, you crazy Easterners.
Yeah, we're awesome.
Jesus, Chad Roberts. Chad, you're a jerk for posting this weird picture of me holding my lamp on my Facebook page. Hilarious. I didn't realize that was in the way. Well, I did realize it was in the way, but never mind. It doesn't matter.
It's funny. People like trying to figure out what it was. At first, it was your microphone. It was pretty funny.
You're pretty funny. Yeah, so there you go. Oh crap! I still got stuff to do before I go to bed, so it's gonna be another late night for me. Tomorrow is Wednesday. No, tonight's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Today is Thursday.
Well, yeah, today is Thursday. I can't tell the passage of time anymore. I'm just out of it.
Well, my wife's in Arizona, and she texted me while we were talking, and she's at a business conference thing for the work. She's like, I can't believe it's almost 11 o'clock and I haven't eaten yet. They haven't given us dinner yet. I'm like, no, that's because it's 9 o'clock and they haven't given you dinner yet. She's like, it's 11 o'clock for me. Shut up.
Oh, jeez. Oh, shut up. I'm hungry. Blah. All right, brother. Well, I guess we'll talk next week.
If I don't talk to you before then.
True. Very true.
All
right, man. You take care. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.